Isn't it? And on course, Sugar Babe, 270 on the tote. They're betting 340 here on course. Lee Freedman also represented by Romnea, 6 here, and she is 340, equal favourite on course, 420 on the tote. Next in the betting is Berger.
The Oaks winners, Miss Finland and Hollow Bullet, won here before going on for their major Group 1 victories later in the spring. Racing at the 1400 metres, Oval Affair straight out the back soon after the start, and Sugar Babe was one of the first to show, and Hortensia bounced away very quickly and she found the lead early ahead of Sugar Babe. Complete Control on the fence third, and Hips Don't Lie a length away fourth, and then one to Apennine. Being followed further back on the inside of Romnea, and a couple of lengths further back as Oval Affair, followed then by Surefire Rose, who's back towards the tail of the field, and last on the inside is Nova Sun. Less than 800 to go. Hortensia had it narrowly from Apennine. They're not going particularly fast. 2 lengths to Sugar Babe, Complete Control, 1 to Hips Don't Lie. Berger on a wide run at the 600 metres. Avionics going through on the inside of her, and then Romnea has to be ridden along a little here, followed by Taboogie Woogie, Oval Affair, Surefire Rose and Nova Sun. They're winding it up around the home turn, and it's going to be Hortensia with the lead. About a length and a half in front now from Apennine. Sugar Babe called on. Berger with clear running down the outside, and then Romnea Complete Control. But Hortensia showed a dazzling turn of foot early in the straight. Opened up 3 lengths now from Sugar Babe. Romnea starting to answer, is coming home fairly well. Hortensia well clear though from Sugar Babe. Romnea running on strongly, but Hortensia pinched it. That's a great ride. Hortensia beat Romnea. Photo third. Berger, Sugar Babe or Apennine who kicked on, and then Oval Affair, Hips Don't Lie, Avionics, and behind them Complete Control. Surefire.
Like last week, change of jockey, change of tactics seemingly, and look at the change of result. She wins today, and she wins most impressively. Positive out of the barriers, controls a slow tempo, kicks clear. You knew she was
her last couple, but you know, she jumped well and put herself there, so I was a little bit concerned when that horse went around.
Fantastic again. Sugar Babe good, Berger good. I think they're all just lying in wait to be swamped by Samantha Miss.
I disagree. I think these first two are outstanding, and both Group 1 fillies, Hortensia and Romnea. I was intrigued to hear you speak to Danny Nikolic, and for him to tell you that this filly is a better chaser. She just effectively led all the way and looked pretty good doing it. Romnea was terrific. Sugar Babe is classy. I wonder if Sugar Babe...
Blessed his little heart. And it was a good performance. The horse has had no luck in recent times, and she did deserve a win. You know, Sugar Babe, again, I still thought it had a chance, but look, it won first up, but I don't care what anyone says. I was still disappointed in its performance first up, and I don't know how many times little Romnea can go to the well, but I tell you what, it is a very, very serious galloper, and
it's an ant. Have a look at the size of it.
If you go through the race, it's the one that probably should have even won the race. There's no question about that. Against the
5 today. This is the boys' prelude, and let's have a look at the market here. We've got Von Costa de Hero, very tight on the tote. He's only around 8. He's around 8.50 here on course. Very tight the tote. Down to well, next in the betting, great lineup there, and of course En Costa de Lago, who stands at Coolmore. Blink Day in slowly run races. We might get another guide today off the boys who go here in the Guineas, but you would think a stronger tempo with Fernandina and perhaps Rockdale pressing forward.
Yeah, more speed. And Who Got You straight out the back at the start. Fernandina away quickly. Time Thief shooting over, trying to find the lead from out wide, and he's going very quickly. He's carving over. Rockdale kicks up inside him, so Time Thief has to steady. He'll sit outside the lead. George's Boy 1.5 third. So does Shark. Inside the 800 metres, and Rockdale out by a length and a half to Time Thief. George's Boy on the rails in third placing. 1 further back, Fernandina. Carnero getting up on the inside, and then Trust Us 1 Go Canny. Surrender on the fence from Lord Tavistock, a length and a half away related. Von Costa de Hero. Who Got You? Gee, how does he win from there? Second last on the fence, and the back last of all, Minnesota Shark. It's Rockdale, the leader from Time Thief, swinging for home. George's Boy on the rails. Then came Fernandina running on fairly strongly. Lord Tavistock around them. Go Canny, no run, nor Canera. They've bunched up at the 200, and Time Thief went to the lead. Fernandina immediately challenges Lord Tavistock. Von Costa de Hero is coming home now. Fernandina got to the lead at the 100 from Time Thief. Fernandina about ahead to Time Thief. They're fighting it out. Fernandina going home the better. Fernandina by a neck to Time Thief. Von Costa de Hero a length and a half away in third. Very close for fourth placing. Lord Tavistock, Go-Go, Kenny Canero are there. And then Who Be Got You. He's run on down the outside eventually, followed by Trust Us related Minnesota Shark Rock.
Well done, Leon Corson's taken about to get this 3-year-old to run out a strong 1400 metres. OK, it played.
Under his legs has been able to beat Time Thief, ridden aggressively, tried very hard. Von Costa de Hero, far left of screen in the number 1 Dali colours.
Place for fourth placing.
Well, continues a great run, of course, for Vlad Jurek and for Leon Corson. Saddle slipped on that horse, and more on that shortly. Fernandina by Desert Sun beating Time Thief. Big down at the mile for me.
Yes, I guess it's some question mark at this stage. A good performance yesterday. The pace was OK. He toughed it out, racing on the speed. It's interesting that not many horses are able to win this race, either as the Guineas Prelude or in its former incarnation as the McDonald, and go on to win the Guineas. In fact, in recent times, there's only been 2 Wonderful World at Alpha, but lots of place getters from this race win the Guineas. 4 in the last 8 years. So maybe you're looking at Time Thief, Von Costa de Hero.
Well, Stuart's had a good look at.
Yeah,
a good look at.
Yes, it looks that way at this stage. A number of good runs behind them yesterday. Who Be Got You, who I don't think is fully wound up yet.
Very good, very
and
good.
Carnero, who didn't have a great deal of luck.
So look, not with a sensible approach too, yeah. Who Be Got You is a horse. Like, he got probably further back than what I really thought he may have. I was expecting.
Yeah, look, I'm a little concerned about the first 2 over the line. Look, I know he's got the big boom on him, Time Thief, but I'm not convinced he's going to be a miler. He looks a sprinter to me, along with the winner. I'm looking towards the horses. Look, David's his famous call, the grand final day, and he usually has one right for it, and I think Von Costa de Hero's got timing about him now that'll top him off for the next one, the Guineas. And I don't know about Who Be Got You. I don't know. I think he's a very good horse. I just don't know whether he's a Guineas or a Derby horse. I'm up in the air with him.
Welcome back to Caulfield, and runners are in the yard for the Group 1 Underwood Stakes, and most eyes, and plenty of them there are here today too at Caulfield. And the sunny skies now are on Weekend Hustler. One of Australia's most popular horses. He's our horse of the year. He's $1.50 on the tote. He's $1.55 for the bookmakers, who have been completely hammered with him in the past few days since first markets went up on Wednesday. There's one bet of $1 million riding on this horse. Good luck, punter. Real, there's your totes. Manning yard for Coolmore, Australia. What a lineup we've got here. That's without Weekend Hustler heading the lineup. Headed off by number 1, Pompey Rule. There's your totes. I mean, he dominates. His 7th Group 1 in, and well, he's. What else can you say, Terry? If you're looking for one negative, in the last 20 years, only one horse has won the Mackay Diva and the Underwood, and that was Northerly.
Bruce, we went up pre-post first book is up at $1.75, and as you can imagine, got knocked off our stand. In the betting today, it's been $1.50 out to $1.55, and
Is this a house job?
Well, I told him to put all the houses on today.
All the houses, you can't get any better than that. Good luck, Ross.
Thank you.
There he is, Ross McDonald. Put all the houses on.
A Pompey Ruler coming in now. $1.50 and $1.10 for Weekend Hustler. Bookies betting just fractionally better than that. Set racing at the 1800 metres. Light Fantastic and Weekend Hustler are the first 2 out. Zarita jumped well. She's immediately up to 3rd. India Gloriosa coming over with Maldivian from wide out. This is an interesting battle early. Weekend Hustler narrowly. Maldivian going on, taking over the running now. India Gloriosa sat outside him. Weekend Hustler came off their positions and settled down 3rd, 2 lengths behind the speed. Light Fantastic and neck away on his inside, and then came Pompey Ruler as they climbed to the top of the hill. Past 1,000 metres, and Maldivian setting a strong gallop out by a length and a half. Indio Gloriosa. One away then came Light Fantastic inside Weekend Hustler with Pompey Ruler a length and a half away. One Doro Valley, Tears I Cry. Zarita's on a wide run at the 800. One Riva Sand, and then came the Fuzz and Laturio. Viewed second last, and Kibbutz brought up the rear. Maldivian the leader coming up the side. Indio Gloriosa pressed to be second. Weekend Hustler about to claim him. Light Fantastic's under the whip on the inside, and then Pompey Ruler running on well from Doro Valley. Zarita and Tears I Cry. Maldivian the leader by a length and a half. Weekend Hustler a length away. Pompey Ruler, then Zarita. Light Fantastic battling away. Maldivian leads around the home turn. He's given the great horse something to run down. He had a kick at the top of the straight too, Maldivian. 2 lengths in front of Weekend Hustler. Pompey Ruler's coming with Weekend Hustler inside the 200. Maldivian now being tackled by the great horse. Weekend Hustler got to the lead. Pompey Ruler's trying to go with him, but Weekend Hustler's holding him at bay, and the true champion of racing wins at 3/4 of a length, Pompey Ruler. Latorio got home beautifully to third placing, close then to a fourth position between Zarita, a game run, and Maldivian. And further back was Viewed, who worked home well, and then came Doro Valley, Rivas, and the Fuzz, Tears I Cry, Kibbutz. Light Fantastic, maybe a light of other days, and last to finish, Indio Glorioso.
Well, he gave us a little flutter about the 200-metre mark, but the only ones fluttering at the winning post will be the bookmakers and the doubters about this great horse, Weekend Hustler. He looked to be cruising coming to the top of the straight. Brad kept him balanced. Maldivian kicked. He knuckled down for the fight like a stayer that he's become. Pompey Ruler, he's back on track. Latorio going to get into the cup so well, but let's concentrate on this horse who's just brilliant for racing. The crowd got involved. Yeah, what a fantastic performance.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. He's had 3 wide all the way and done all the work, and Maldivian got a kick on him, but he ran him down in the end, and you know, he covered pretty well.
And you've had unbelievable faith in this horse this week, especially after Tuesday when he came off. Tell us what really went on Tuesday morning, what Les was telling you.
Well, he just worked, and Brad rode the lead horse, and the lead horse is very fit, and he's been running over 2200, and he just picked him up, and Brad was on him. He said he just looked awesome. He said he was going 3/4 pace when he went past me.
Well, Tristark won this, and then you'd run in the Yolumbra, then go to the Caulfield Cup. You've got 3 weeks, and then you've got to back up 3 weeks in a row, perhaps, if you run the Cox Plate. Is there any chance you could twist back to the Turnbull?
Nothing's in concrete at the moment, is it?
So it's an opportunity to split.
Give him 2 weeks between runs. Yeah.
So it's part of your thinking?
When he gets up and done it, it's probably a bit of relief more than pressure.
So Brad comes back here, Terry.
How many trainers can you think of in the history of racing as a rousing reception for Brad Rawiller when the trainer comes? A rousing reception for Brad Rawiller when the trainer comes out and says, "Put the house on." He said, "Put them all on today," and he has not been wrong once. What a
Group 1s in the season.
Oh, look right up there because he's just. I mean, this field today is their champion horses. Is just such a great field, and once again he's out on top because he's the best.
And the crowd behind.
So it's awesome.
And can he produce the big 3? Can he do it, Brad?
If there's ever a horse to do it, this is the one. And
Place then to...
Record, and it's going to only be improved. It'll sound like a broken record by the end of the spring. 15 starts, 12 wins, an astonishing 7 of those at Group 1, all within a year. He won at Sandown, virtually the anniversary a year ago next Sunday, his first city win, and now he has 7 Group 1s. It's an amazing record, Steve, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is, Bruce. Probably got to go back a long way to find a horse with anything like it. I suppose, you know, you go back to Better Loosen Up and Let's Elope, were both able to win 7 consecutive major races from the spring through the autumn, not all Group 1s. But let's concentrate on this horse. Yesterday, spectacular. Brad, take us through it. First of all, the wind factor yesterday.
He's got a great recovery rate. You see, after he pulls up, after he's had a race, he wouldn't blow a candle out, and it doesn't matter what the distance is. And the vets checked his heart at Caulfield a couple of starts back, and they just couldn't believe how quick he recovers after a race.
Conditioning through.
Sort of followed the favourite and travelled up really good on his back. You know, he sort of come out 3 deep to have clear room down the side, and we had to sort of trail up behind him. And they cracked him at the furlong. I thought we were a hope, but you know, he kicked in late, the Hustler, and was too strong on the line. My horse will take a little bit of improvement from that run too.
It's a good field going.
Yeah, I'm just got to get back to a handicap. I was really happy with the way he ran today, hit the line good, and yeah, certainly just looking forward to the Cups.
Well, you can't get into a race.
I spoke before the race, and you know, we thought the only way we can beat him today is really take it to him. And you know, I put the pressure in the race at about the 700, and we were low level flying coming around the turn. I skipped away, and he felt great. You know, I actually thought I was going to hold on, but the last 100 he just got really tired, and I truly think that he just needed the run. Today was the first time his coats really come through and he looked well, so I think, you know...
Terrible, Bruce. He had a nice run throughout the race, but 700 when the speed come on into the race just really struggled. And although you don't want to say it, hopefully there's something not quite right there.
Pulled up, okay, nothing...
I wish I had something to tell you, but he seems to have pulled up fine, so we just got to go back to the drawing board and see where the problem is.
I suppose all effectively okay, bar Craig Newitt, Mick Price with Light Fantastic, but the measuring stick always remains Weekend Hustler, Steve.
No doubt. And yesterday was a good solid race, first 1200 in 1:13, which from a standing start's reasonably quick. He was very convincing yesterday. I think that form will hold up. I like the margins, you know, first to second, second to third. Zarita Latorio, obviously good. The runner-up, Pompey Ruler, has come back pretty well. And I think, you know, that's the genuine form reference of the spring so far, that race yesterday.
And I thought little Zarita, the mare, she did it tougher than anything in the race and still managed to battle on very well under the circumstances, and really only Latorio to run past her over the concluding stages. I think they're the two that are really on track.
I agree. Outside the winner, there's Zarita was just sensational. What did she draw? Yeah. Barrier 5, and she was four and 5 deep throughout. So her run was courageous. And Latorio, I like the fact that it's his first good run away from home, away from Flemington, and usually he'd get lost around a Caulfield sort of a setup, but he's a live Melbourne Cup chance, this Latorio. I've got no doubts about it. I don't know about Maldivian. Look at him here. He seems to lose it this last... I know he put a bit of pressure on before the turn, but that's a worrying sign, stopping like that.
That's atrocious, his last 150 metres. That would be big concerns for the camp, I would think. The point you made about Zarita, it was a sensational run. And just getting on the Hustler, I think he is, without a doubt, the one horse that I've ever seen that knows what this game's all about. Every time he's challenged, he just raises the bar, he finds the acceleration, he puts himself into every run he's ever had, he puts himself into the perfect spot. He knows what it's all about, this boy. Like, when he got past Maldivian, then he's just shouldered the second horse and just did what he had to do to keep it out. He's a true superstar. And, you know,
okay, what are you saying? Is he Caulfield Melbourne Cup sort of a horse?
He's a Caulfield Cup horse for sure, and certainly you have a look at him, the last 70 metres of that race, he was going stronger than anything. He'll run 2,400 metres for sure and certain.
And I've got no doubt.
Got one more Group 1 to go. It is a Sir Rupert Clark Stakes, and it comes up in about 10-11 minutes' time. Let's have a look at the market here. Much wider than the previous. The bookies are still dusting themselves off the floor, ringing bank managers. There's not much point doing that. There's no money in the liquid market these days either. It'll save the economy, weekend hustler. Bonhoeffer, $4.80 on Super Tab, $6 here on course. At that level, he is favourite. Now, Swick's at the $16.50. That's the quotes here on course. Manning brought to you by a wide market here. Got to have hearts, got out to $10. Orange County's almost there. It's at the $9 on course. Tight the tote for Oliver at $7, going for his 7th win in the race. Ollie, a fantastic record he has. And he rides Orange County here for Brian Mayfield Smith. Bonhoeffer moves up here. It's a bit of an anticlimax, isn't it? It's a Group 1 race, a bit of an anticlimax after the Hustler.
Yeah, if you back the winner, it won't be being on speed.
And technically, the way races are being.
King Dakar jumped well. Valedictum slow from the outside. Jardine bounced out well, and so did Here the Angels. Ruby sent, and Friday Creek is up. There was Alexander of Hales. Got to have heart coming over as well as they've settled into stride now. Bonhoeffer settles with 3 behind him. Up on top now. Got to have heart coming over, finds the lead ahead of Friday Creek, Here the Angels, and King Dakar, Eskimo Queen, followed by Serious Speed, and then Orange County. 2 lengths behind these horses, Pillar of Hercules, Bonhoeffer and Swick, and a couple of lengths further back in the field is Valedictum and Our Smoking Joe. They're strung out and running it very solidly. Got to have heart at the 600 by a length and a half. Friday Creek, 3 lengths away then Jardine, Here the Angels, Dorabella. Next Ruby sent Turfontaine, followed by Marching. Eskimo Queen commencing a move from Alexander of Hales, Orange County, and further back Serious Speed, and then came Bonhoeffer. Got to have heart being tackled by Friday Creek, and Here the Angels running on. Jardine looking for the way clear from Turfontaine. Here comes Orange County, and Dorabella was next. Here the Angels shot to the lead at the 200. Orange County coming after him. Bonhoeffer down the outside from Pillar of Hercules, but it's Damien Oliver who shot Orange County away. He's going to win this for the 6th time. Orange County came away, scored by 2.5 lengths to Bonhoeffer, Turfontaine, Pillar of Hercules, and then Valedictum, Here the Angels. Just behind these to finish in the race was Dorabella, and then came Swick, Serious Speed. King Dakar was next in from Eskimo Queen, Jardine, Hales, and Our Smoking Joe, one of the last in.
Well, the race that gave Damien Oliver his first Group 1 victory on Submounted for Bart Cummings gives him his 6th in this race, and about number 80 overall. And Orange County charges off a hot speed here to win for Brian Mayfield Smith, the horse.
Yeah, so honest and pretty unlucky, and to just get that today, and I was due for a Group 1 myself, so it was pretty good. But you know, he's a sweet horse and very honest. It's good to see that his ability's being vindicated with a victory like this.
You really lose the taste for him, do you?
No, I don't. That's I'm starting to get a bit hungry.
There's a Melbourne Cup coming up that might be maybe better for you.
Well, I mean,
seasons ago, the race has been named the Invitation, the Marlborough, the Shoday Cup, the Vic Elf Cup, the whatever it is, the Dubai Racing Club, the Sir Rupert Clark. Damien, I think every time you won it's had a different name.
Yeah, I think it's had more name changes than I've won it, Bruce.
It's interesting though, Damien, Bonhoeffer's run very well. A couple of horses didn't have a great deal of luck, but at the end of the day, he blew them away.
He did. It was. I got there a bit sooner than I wanted to, but the horse was just going so well. And as you said, the genuine tempo really set it up for the run-on horses. And I reckon about that time of the day too, the inside was just starting to maybe chop up a little bit, and the runners-on were really coming into play.
Well, they certainly ran along.
Really coming into play.
Well, they certainly ran along. If you can believe the sectionals, 46.6 for the first 800, which is extraordinary. And look, there's no doubt that they did go pretty quick. They went very quick.
We've got to have Heart Pulled Up Distressed.
Yep, and Friday Creek in a little surprise, I suppose, applying the gas. So it was no surprise.
Awkwardly, but aided by a very, very fast-run race, I think that set it up for him. There's no question about that. But he really stole the show. There's no question about that. Bonhoeffer, well, obviously the Bobby Lewis just took the dash out of his legs. He got back further than one would have thought. But again, he was very, very game in defeat. I thought his effort was good. Here to Angels, up on the speed. Yeah, look, I got no idea where Lee can go with a horse like Here to Angels now.
He did all the favours in the run. He got the hot speed, he got the card into the race, and he probably deserves a bit of luck because he's a horse that has raced without luck in big races in the past. Look, he left the others, no excuses whatsoever. I thought old Smokin' Joe went OK back in the field here. He may have come up all right, but other than that, I think you've pretty well explained everything there, Alf.
I thought is race 8 coming up in the wide market here away from a favourite, which is Vor Mister. Oliver going for back-to-back feature races. Back of all here are Joyeuse and Benatar. Brian Mayfield-Smith, can he do it again? Benatar.
On the $8, and I reckon that's a good price for her, and they backed her into $7. Be interested to see what she does in the early stages of the race.
Okay, there's your...
Often racing, and Vor Mister jumped well on the outside. Vivacious Spirit is easing right back through the field in the early part. Princess Maritza was showing speed. Pinsum, Tuit and Gill drive through now, and they go to the lead, settling into stride ahead of Latar. Vivacious horses then, Grand Journey and Vor Mister was back last of all on the outside, 9 off the leader. Gild in front coming around the home turn, led narrowly from Goldfield Ashes and also La Chasseuse in the centre. I Have No Fear a length away. Princess Maritza peels out. Joyeuse next. Antarctic Miss held up. So is Zippanese. Vivacious Spirit comes down the outside and Vor Mister's behind her. Gild in front at the 200 metres. I Have No Fear claims. Vivacious Spirit runs on. Vor Mister the last crack at them. Benatar trying to get clear. Vivacious Spirit hits the front out wide. She's going for home. Zippanese and Benatar run on, but Vivacious Spirit scored by 2 lengths to Benatar and a half Vor Mister. Then Zippanese and Princess Maritza. Next Tranquility Base pins him to it. I
hope you're getting better. We'll take a break on a Race Day Live.
Nothing on her. Never on the track. Battled on extremely well.
Caulfield for our last race today. Naturalism Stakes, all of these trying to get a guaranteed spot in the field for the Caulfield Cup. There'll be and Gallopin 440 on the tote. On course, it's $6 Light Vision, 440 a Gallopin. On the second page, all the action here is with Zagreb, and into it in the coming days. Out of the Sir Rupert Clark, Gotta Have Heart was found to have a respiratory disorder, and will have...
Just need a bit... Field ready, 420 favourite is Gallopin, and away they go. Gyno just a touch slow. Zagreb eased out at the start. Gallopin got away in about the middle of the field, and it's Britomart going to the lead in the early stages, ahead of Light Vision, poised to win Moment in Time. There's Zarvit from deep out, coming over quickly to join the leading horses, and Gallopin is up on the speed. He's caught about 3 wide in the early stages here. In 2 lengths to Zagreb at the tail of the field. It's Zarvit the leader as they go to the 1,000 metres by about a length and a half, poised to win straight up into second after racing wide mid-race. Britomart back a length and a half away, and Gallopin in a nice trailing position now, 4th on the outside, followed by Light Vision, Dolphin Joe, Moment in Time, the rail. 1 further back, then Rumbird out deep around Gyno, New Kid in town. Testagrand edging away from the fence to get into the clear, followed by Borghurst, and then Cholula, Queen of Queens, Like a Falcon, and Zagreb. Zarvit the leader, coming to the 600 by a length and a half, poised to win, and then came Gallopin Light Vision and Dolphin Joe Deeper out. Behind them, Britomart, New Kid in Town, Rumbird hard ridden from Testagron, and then Borghurst. And behind these, Cholula and Queen of Queens, and then Gyno. Zagreb still well back as they corner. Zavid headed off by Poised to Win. Galloping under the whip, Light Vision coming on down the outside from Borghurst and New Kid in Town. Poised to Win the leader, but Light Vision and Borghurst coming. No run, Testagron and Gallopin coming through in the middle. Poised to Win being tackled by Gallopin, Light Vision and Borghurst and Zagreb swapping them out wide now. Here's Zagreb descending on the ball, and he's got up and won from last. Zagreb with a mighty run has got up to beat Light Vision and maybe Queen of Queens from Borghurst for the minor issue. Then Testagron, Poised to Win, folded up the last little bit, and then Gyno, Cholula further back in the field to finish. New Kid in Town, Rumbird, Gallopin didn't finish it off. Then Zavid.
Well, it's been a tough day for David Hayes and Craig Williams, but they go home now with a Caulfield Cup runner happy in Zagreb, and what a win it was. It's been a little frustrating day, but you've come out with a live Caulfield Cup hope, you'd think, off that.
Yeah, you would think so. Look, he just needs further and further all the time.
Queen of Queens from Borghurst.
Well, big win for sure. He's $21 now for the Caulfield Cup and guaranteed to start. He's in the Melbourne Cup, $34 into $17. He's got the breeding, the pedigree, the look, and the ability to be competitive, you would think, Steve.
I would think so, Bruce. That South Australian classic form, of course, through Zarita holding up and Zagreb, both pretty good. And this race has been a good race in recent years. Duro Valley, Zipping, Sarira. I think there were lots of good runs in the race. I think Poised to Win and Borghurst, both in pinkish colours, were both very brave. Light Vision, Gallopin okay. The winner, obviously, excellent. Queen of Queens, encouraging.
What do you call it?
I call him Zagreb.
Zagreb, yeah. So here is Zagreb.
Call him very good horse.
Yeah. Watch this.
Come out wide now. Here's Zagreb descending on the ball, and he's got up and won from last. Zagreb with a mighty run.
Oh, David, he couldn't have been more impressive.
No, he was fantastic. I think he ran the best last 200 for the day, and there were sprint races and Group 1 races on the day, so that really does send a bit of a message.
And to train?
Yes, his owner, Jerry Harvey, was at the Magic Million Sales, and we just bought one of his yearlings, and he said, well, now that's bad luck because I've got to give you a horse to train now. And I said, oh, that'll be fine. He said, can you train Zabills? And I sort of was a bit stumped because I've been away for a long time and hadn't trained many, and I couldn't think of one. And then I walked back and I said, well, I actually did train Zabil. He said, well, that's good enough, and he gave me this. So, I was giving my age away a bit.
Yeah. You are. By the way, happy birthday, Jerry.
Yeah, happy birthday. And he swears he's not 70.
Yeah.
Geez, I tell you what. There'll be a nice blow-up if it wins the Melbourne Cup and beats Tuesday. Joy, won't Singo go off his head if Jerry beats him in the Melbourne? You'll have to change the thing.
Like, you know, do you reckon he's
I think he'll be competitive in anything he runs in now.
I think a lot of ground.
Oh, he has. Look, he's a genuine high-class stayer. And sometimes they go the wrong way, Ronnie, but unfortunately for you, he's gone the right way.
It's just that one time when you put the blinkers on him and he went like a turtle, and I thought, well, that was the only time I've ever been on him.
And what must be hard talking through your pocket, Ronnie.
And look, for the viewers who didn't watch the show that day, what did you call him?
Well, I call him Zagrub because I took 6-4 or something at Moonee Valley, and he went like a grub. He just didn't pass a runner.
just bits at Hastings. Fritzy Boy favourite Princess Cope's been a big shortener in the last few minutes. Then Red Ruler and Nom de Jeu. So that's Hastings, where they're about to move in. But first, we're off to Eagle Farm.
Bridge getting back a little Princess Cope and Run Like Owl, and going back is Magic Cape. Red Ruler won the start. Prince Cup starts right there. And Susian's going forward. The Puka's going forward. Keeper cruising behind them. Then Ombre Rose. Fritzy Boy looking to tuck in behind those somewhere. He's 3 out, but he's got cover. There's a length and a half to Rios. Nom de Jeu, the stablemate, joins that. Bolgan Bar is back on the inside. Magic Cape is the next to Sterling Prince as they run by the 1200 metres. 2 to Princess Cope, and Run Like Owl is last of those. A length Sterling Prince. Run Like Owl's taking off, and Princess Cope is last of all. They run towards the 650 metres in the Stony Bridge. And Susian 1.5. Fritzy Boy, the Puka 3rd. Prince Calstad the inside. Run Like Owl circling them quickly. Red Ruler taking off as 2. Nom de Jeu behind them. Ombre Rose, and then Keep It Cruising. Wider out as they turn. Here is Sterling Prince. Here Run Like Owl's whipped up on the outside of Fritzy Boy, who's offering plenty on the inside. A couple of lengths from Susians, and then we've got the Puka. We've got Run Like Owl. Fritzy Boy is fighting hard. He's coming again on the inside, and here down the outside, Princess Cope. She's about to sprout wings, coming with a Nom de Jeu. Boy back in behind those runners then has been Ombre Rose, Bolgan Bar and Souciant. And then we have the next home, Sterling Prince, Bolgan Bar, Run Like Our Red Ruler further away, Prince Cup Start, Keeper Cruise and Magic Cape, and then Rios and the Puka. Woohoo, how about this?
Yeah, she's pretty good, and no doubt she'll be heading our way after that. She won the St George Stakes at Caulfield earlier this year. That was the second run today, and she'll head towards the Celt Capital Stakes in New Zealand, and then on.
Performance, $26 in the 13 for the Cox Plate. That will be her Melbourne target if she can come through the Celt Stakes, Steve, but she was awesome there.
Very good win, second up. Speed was good, of course. Run Like Elle chimed in from about the 800 just to keep the pot stirring, which certainly made the race for Princess Cope. She's an outstanding mare. I just wonder when she comes to Australia whether she's just that marginal 3/4 of a length off, you know, the very, very best. But cool, in a fast run race, she's always competitive.
Nom de jeu, 21.
Yeah. Well, the speed was on, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, that's only second up though, so you'd expect more in her. Look, they got that $1 million race coming up there, the Celt, isn't it? The Celt Capital.
Yeah.
Celt Capital. These first two horses, they're well known to Australians, and look, they seem to be like they're big players in the big $1 million race. Geez, there was a run in that race. I don't know much about it, whether it's much good, but a horse called Run Like Elle. It took off at...
What was that all about?
He took off at about the 1,200 metres there, and it was still kicking there with 150 to go. I thought it was the run of the race by a long way. And in the mic.
For our first group race of the day, this is the Group 2 Shannon Stakes and Bank Robber. Well, we saw Bank Robber also for the Waterhouse stable now $1.65. Was going to say $1.45.
Yeah, Bank Robber all the rage here on track. On paper, there doesn't look to be a lot of speed in the race, and you think he'd either lead or be running second at the very worst. He looked out there, they're set, they're racing now. Anna Beck's come out behind them. Kick and Chase began well, and as one of the leaders, there goes the favourite Bank Robber, starting to cruise around the outside to take up the running. So it's Bank Robber in front on settling down. They swing to the side, and Bank Robber looking for the hat tricks on top here, leading by about 3/4 of a length. He's had no pressure applied to him by the other runners at the moment. Xavier's just creeping a little bit closer now at the 600. So it's Bank Robber almost taken on by Xavier, who gets level. Then Muscat and Kick and Chase, who's locked away in a pocket, followed by Dan Zippo coming up 3 wide from Black Piranha Ice Chariot, Bellagio win, and last of all is Anna Beck turning for home. He's still sitting pretty on Bank Robber. Muscat comes down the outside, followed by Xavier and Dan Zippo. He's had to get busy on Bank Robber now. Muscat sprinted up on the outside, and he's headed Bank Robber, who's the first beaten. Ice Chariot comes on the outside. Muscat's in front with about 100 to go. Black Piranha's chasing him on the inside. Muscat and Black Piranha. Muscat won the money. Beat Black Piranha and Ice Chariot. And then Dan Zippo followed by Kick and Chase, Anna Beck, and a big flop from Bank Robber. He was quickly beaten at the top of the straight. He finished about third last. Xavier's knocked up as well, and Bellagio win was last in.
Well, if he already was worth $2.5 million as a yearling, he's now a Group 2 winner, taking out the Shannon Stakes Muscat, the 3/4 Shannon Stakes Muscat, the 3/4 brother to Mackay Diva, and that's a super performance by this horse. First up, he was.
He said he'll be competitive.
Stallion by Redute's Choice out of Tagila, and he was sold at the Inglis Easter sales by Arrowfield. A long head by 1 1/4 lengths, 130.5.
He's been patiently handled by Peter Snowden now. Did a good job there. So there was a bit of specking for him too, Rich. $13 in.
Well, it's funny, Bruce. We spoke to. We're waiting for.
Well. He says there's a couple of races for him in Melbourne. Well, if he holds his form, he's the type of horse with a profile that he's got that you could run in a Cox Plate, because if he flukes something there, he's worth a fortune as it is, as a standing at stud. But
what about Bank Robber?
Well, there's got to be a sour taste in the mouth there. He's $1.65 into $1.40. He's gone like disgracefully, and I'm hearing this morning that there's nothing wrong with the horse, and he's going to press on towards an Epsom.
The inside of the. I don't know about this winner Muscat. I think he's been terribly well placed. If he went in a Cox Plate, all he'd do would be making up the numbers. No. He's not mature enough or good enough to be in a Cox Plate at this stage of its.
To $1.70, still a dominant favourite. Number 2 Stripper, $4 out to $4.40. Number 3 Portillo, $4.80 to $5.
Here comes Stripper. Racing in the T-Rose, and Think Money was outpaced shortly after the start. Camilzi from the outside stall began well, and it's got the lead early, but they're not out to break any records here in the first 200 metres. Now Camilzi kicks up and rolls across towards the fence and leads by Samantha Miss, who's right on its tail. Indirect's just up in front of it, and last of all Think Money. They travel down the side in the T-Rose, and there's 8 lengths first to last, and Camilzi on top, led by about 1.25 lengths. Glow Lamp is second from Showboard, and then came Portillo. She gets a chance today, and then came Stripper Indirect. Samantha Miss Bowman still has a big hold on her as they come to the turn, and Think Money is back last of all. Swinging the bend now in the T-Rose, Camilzi from Glow Lamp. Portillo is now starting to stride out after them. Down the outside, Stripper and Samantha Miss are coming as well. The two in the orange colours are sprinting from the back. It's Camilzi in front from Glow Lamp. Samantha Miss is letting loose now. She's going better than Stripper. Down inside the 200, and this outstanding filly, Samantha Miss, has come from second last. She's rushed to the lead, and she'll make it 4 group races in a row. She's a beauty. Samantha Miss wins it from Camilzi and Glow Lamp. Then Portillo, followed further back by Indirect, and then came Stripper, Think Money, and last in was Showboard.
She's a super little filly, isn't she? Samantha Miss by Redute's Choice, of course, for Chris Lees, Ron Krogan, Huey Bowman. She just outclassed them again. That's the third.
Why wouldn't you, Huey? You won't. I don't think Huey will make the 47.5 if she gets to the Cox Plate. Boy, oh boy, she might be the 3-year-old that might win the Cox Plate. She's a good girl, this one, Samantha Miss. She's come back in Miss. She's come back in great order. She's bred to get 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles. What she's doing now.
Quality filly. The others were just left in her wake, Samantha Miss, and that's a super performance, and can't wait.
She chimes in quickly.
Yeah, they backed the speed off there. They got back to like 12.5 to the furlong there at one stage, and I was a little concerned, but she's still got that explosive turn of foot, which is very important.
It's exciting. Every below the few of the grey hairs at the back, we still got that Cox Plate back there.
It's there. It's the second acceptance is Tuesday. I done it yesterday just in case.
Well done, mate.
Thanks.
There he is.
She's got the measure of all the girls in Sydney, Rich, and do you think she's got the measure of the girls and then perhaps the boys in Melbourne?
I do. I think she's the best 3-year-old in Australia, but look, I agree with Danny Nikolic. I think Hortensia will be a better horse as a chaser, but this girl's very good. She was the only one to beat Sebring in the 2-year-old days. I think missing the Golden Slipper was a blessing. And Bruce, when you look at it, I remember, I go back a long time ago, but I remember being a young fella and being at the Golden Slipper and saying to my old man, I said, how come that horse is allowed to race against a 2-year-old, being Marauding, who looked like a 4-year-old? This girl is just a big girl, and every time you see her, she just looks bigger and better, and as the distances get...
In the Cox Plate.
Well, yes, it'll be interesting. One, it only Surround, as we touched on last week, has been able to do it. And look, I'm a big rat for this filly, Samantha Miss. She keeps winning and keeps winning decisively, and as Richard says, she's got the physical presence. But I suppose to put things in perspective, yesterday she beat a horse who's won a Canterbury maiden and beat the 3rd place getter who's yet to win a race. Just to put it in perspective.
Well, she's very good, the horse who won.
How good is she?
The sky's the limit.
Yep.
The sky's the limit. In my opinion, I think she's as good as Miss Finland, if not, I think she's better than Miss Finland.
Well, wow.
She's so dominant. To rattle off, like Camilzi had a picnic in front there. She's come from the back and just put paid to them like she did in one stride from the back, like she did on a wet track last time. She did it on the dry this time. She'll probably win the Flight Stakes, and by all reports, look, she's a big firmer in the Cox Plate. I think we may have mentioned this last week. She was 25 to 1. She's into $9 now, and she's well found now, obviously. But there is a thought to say, and I think everyone in Melbourne's hoping this, because she'll just kill them fillies down there, that she may miss the 1,000 guineas and run in the Flight Stakes as the next, and then straight to the Cox Plate.
Do you rate her in the Cox? Do you rate her in the Cox Plate?
I've backed her.
Yeah.
You don't rate her?
Oh, well, no, I think she's fantastic. I've been in love with the horse from day one, you know. I backed her in the Champagne Stakes. I just know that as a 3-year-old, Sunline she won the Furious and the Flight Stakes. They rated slightly higher than this filly. She didn't race as a 3-year-old in the Cox Plate. She won the Cox Plate as a 4-year-old, and I just don't know whether she's just seasoned enough to do it. I think she's outstanding. She can accelerate. She's when I say weekend hustler type of horse, she's the sort of horse that just stays out of trouble. You can put her anywhere in the race. She can be up on the pace if she has to be. She can accelerate off a slow pace. She ticks all the boxes. But I'm just a little bit worried. It depends if Weekend Hustler.
As a 3-year-old, this filly's more of a staying
playing classy 3-year-old.
Might have a good point.
And Miss Finland was a sprinting sort of a filly.
I think she's much more
This is a different filly altogether, believe me. And I'm always been I've potted the 3-year-olds year in and year out, big time in the Cox Plate, and I think I've got this one right.
This is the Hill Stakes. Dealer Principal is the favourite. Very open race. Of course, he is the Rosehill Guineas winner for Anthony Cummings. Anthony ran in the
very heavy track though. Fiumicino, $8 into $5, heavily backed. Number 2, it's
odds, but haven't really. Well, he's now 5 into 460, so they have backed plenty of runners. Dealer Principal, the wear winkers here. Wasn't advised as a gear change. There was a glitch in the system there, and now he's cast the shoe in the way for a start. They're off now, jumping out well the Wolverine. It was one of the best into stride, so too Bundor and Breeze and Dealer Principal, and with a chance, and Fiumicino not all that well away. But as they settle down fully into stride now, and Araz gone to the lead and led from Dealer Principal, and with a chance is trapped out a little bit wide, but starting to go forward into second spot. And then we've got Bundor and Breeze, Fiumicino followed by Mikasa. Magic Instinct, 600 to run, and with a chance is on top and led by a length and a quarter. Araz closest to it in second spot, and then came Mandela. Dealer Principal going up near the inside. He's starting to get busy now on Fiumicino, and then came Bundor and Breeze. Most of the jockeys are steering a little bit wide here, and the leader with a chance, but not for long. Araz claimed it quickly. Fiumicino comes down the outside, and Dealer Principal gets up on the inside. It's Araz taking the lead from Dealer Principal with a chance down the outside. Fiumicino. The Wolverines coming late as well. There's 4 of them fighting it out. Dealer Principal hit the front from Fiumicino. These two settled down to fight it out. Fiumicino stuck his head out and won the stakes. It's Fiumicino from Dealer Principal. I'm not sure third. They were past the post when I got back to them. We've got With a Chance.
Dealer Principal too. That was a great run by him, returning to Sydney, the Rosehill Guineas winner. But Fiumicino, he could be in for an awesome spring campaign. His buys
go anywhere on TV. Another side of this break, we're heading back to Bruce.
Of 2 seasons back in Sydney, beating Dealer Principal much better back in Sydney. Hurrah, battle on into the third. The Wolverine ran well, but I've got my doubts on this as being referenced for the Melbourne Spring.
I agree with you, Bruce.
Well, the patent committee will have to have a look at this race. Turn it up, Group 2. It's flat.
I think there's a look.
Well, he's won 1 race in Sydney, hurrah, but he's, as you say, is honest. There's the market. Red Lord 380. Bianca got the penalty throughout the...
Personally, I don't like the race at all. At all. It's good to see the Fiumicino back on track. It's amazing what a win can do, and I think his best chance is if he can run 2 mile. Because if you look at it as far as that perspective is concerned, it was quite a good performance. Other than that, Dealer Principal, look, he ran an improved race, but I still feel he's running on empty. He looked a bit light to me. I think they should stop with him and concentrate on the autumn. They all laughed at me when I said he shouldn't run in the Derby on the heavy track, and I reckon it's affected him, this preparation. There's no doubt in the world. That's not a return to form in a bunch finish like that. The Wolverine ran on okay. Hurrah.
3-year-olds about to go round here in the time-honoured Gloaming Stakes, the Group 3 worth $250.
He is bred to get the trip, but he's raced very fresh on both occasions that we've seen him here in Sydney. Now coming up at number 1. Racing now. Predatory Pricer broke well. Freedom March going straight back shortly after the start. Now Stalingrad came out nicely, and so did Miss Darcy, and Fight and Defends not all that far away. Followed by Tawakoni, Freedom March, and then came Naval Escort. Emperor Bonaparte getting shuffled back to be about 4th last. And as they go to that corner, it's Stalingrad in front. He can't hold sufficient. It's pulling its head off again today, and it rushes around the outside to join Stalingrad in front. Fight and Defend tracking them. Miss Darcy the inside, and Naval Escort's never been on the track. Then came Predatory Pricer, followed by Tawakoni and Relentless Lad. Well back behind them next is Freedom March. Emperor Bonaparte's been shuffled right back into the field, and he clipped heels and almost sold out there. Emperor Bonaparte, he's out of business, and back last of all is Bondit coming around the home turn. Jockey's lost his irons on Emperor Bonaparte. This will only be a sprint home. They've absolutely crawled, and it's efficient moving up to Stalingrad, who's just in front. Then Fight and Defend. Predatory Pricer's now starting to let loose on the outside. Schofield brings the big chest down with his run, and he sprinted up to hit the lead. It's Predatory Pricer from Stalingrad. Fight and Defend. Predatory Pricer in front. Fight and Defender's coming back with Stalingrad. It's Predatory Pricer in front, and Predatory Pricer won the Gloaming. Beat Stalingrad and Fight and Defend. And then came Relentless Lad, followed further back by Miss Darcy and Freedom March from Tawakoni. And then came Naval Escort. Sufficient pulled his head off again today, and Bonnet was back near the tail of the the field.
He's now a group winner, Predatory Price, this half-brother to take over Target. He's always had this potential. He's a...
Not great. Copper Tip. That was a soft win. He had him covered from the moment they straightened up when Glenn Schofield got him off the heels of Fight and Defend. He sprinted to them and then he wanted to have a play. He thought he was down on the playground on the swings and the monkey bars. And then he just got past them and he toyed with them. Stalingrad showed a worry in the world. Close for second and third.
Yeah, a little bit sore.
Mate, you did a marvellous job not to come to grief. It must have been a...
Less lad, an even field, fair to say.
Yeah, no. I think he kidded to him. I really do. And the fast, I think this bloke will be better. They went slow. He come off the back, picked them up in 2 bounds, and then he thought he was down the park. He wanted to play football. He just wanted to play games with them. He's a very good horse. I think the autumn's going to be...
Look, he's overcome a slow speed here. He's dashed to him again. He's still a big baby, and I think there's a few studs sniffing around this horse now. All of a sudden they're thinking, whoa, here's an opportunity. This horse has got a profile with pedigree now with Takeover Target. He's a good galloper. He's capable of winning a Group 1. And
got the wanders. He did have every chance in the run and got to the best part of the track, but I'm with you. I think he's a Group 1 horse of the future for certain. I think he'll get further. I thought Relentless Lad's run was excellent. I thought Fight and Defend's run was also very good, but no taking...
Caulfield Cup, Cox Plate and the Melbourne Cup back in 1950. Market for the Caulfield Cup. He's $2 now. Geez, he could get into... Well, what could he get into? Maldivian last year was $2.40 when scratched the barrier. Rising Fast had 8 stone 10, 55.5. Did market. He's in as tight as $2.50 now. Tighter with some operators. Pompey Ruler back on track. I don't think he'll be doing both. And Samantha Miss from Sydney, we'll see her shortly too. Melbourne Cup, but Weekend Hustler is into around $15. Now, look, if he wins the first 2, you'll be lynched as un-Australian if you don't run in the Melbourne Cup, surely.
Well, the horse will let us know whether we run.
Oh, come on. That's all a bit of nonsense.
It's away from one of the big ones of the night, the JRA Cup at listed level here at Moonee Valley. On track, will pass, is opened at $9 on track. Devil Moon, $5 out to $6. Back in, which has always been a very good race. Maldivian, of course, winning this race just recently. Favourite on track is Selaguer at 4-1, $5.
They're two of the best. Arguably, they're the 2 best mares in Australia.
They're top weight for age horses, and she wasn't far behind them, and as you say, arguably unlucky.
The JRA Cup, the gates are back and they're off and racing. Selaguer easing at the start of the race. Devil Moon from outside begins fast. So did Jafalu, and also Casual Pass, and just in behind them Scenic Bullet won't be far away, and Causeway Queen on the fence. Selaguer's gone back and he's third last, and Chafalo had the lead from Casual Pass, and Devil Moon posted out 3 wide at the first turn. In behind about 15 first to last, and Chafalo went around the turn at the 800, 2.5 to 3 Devil Moon. 2 lengths to Casual Pass, 2 lengths to Causeway Queen, 1 to Scenic Bullet, a little over 2 lengths to Maybe Better and Majestical, and they're trailed then by Animato, scrubbed up to make some ground, and then Lord's Ransom and Selaguer getting onto the back of Animato for a cart home, and a break then to Fast Future. They're up past the 600, and it's Chafalo, a length and a half. Devil Moon, Casual Pass running on. Causeway Queen still has him in her sights. Animato continuing her long run, followed by Majestical, and then came Selaguer. Chafalo giving a bit of cheek around the home turn from Devil Moon, Casual Pass, and Animato coming on. Majestical at the back of them, and then Causeway Queen, Selaguer. It's Chafalo still in front of Devil Moon. Majestical going for a run, and then Casual Pass. Chafalo still in front. Majestical got the split. Devil Moon on the outside, but Majestical getting to Chafalo. Majestical on the outside, and Chafalo kicked and wanted a nose. Majestical 2.5 lengths. Devil Moon maybe third from Animato, and getting home Cape Town along the inside, or Cape Cover. Then came Maybe Better. Back behind those horses, Fast Future with Casual Pass, Lord's Ransom. Selaguer didn't go on. Further back in the field then is Scenic, just walks past the line.
Incredible race, incredible race. Inside, Chefaloo kicks back, Majestical lunges on the outside, and Chefaloo looks to have a slender margin over Majestical, who look...
He has got a Chefaloo at 100 to 1, and this is a race that is significant in the flop.
Give me a ring, we'll go hard. $68.20 and $15.30 Majestical. What a run, $4.60. Devil Moon sticks on very...
That majestically, I thought it was a gun ride too by Wayne Hockey to go back to the inside. That was the way the track played.
Wow.
Well, the right. Well, the rail going out there is not good, is it, Bruce?
Well, Mark, we had races on Wednesday, rail out 7, that's a leader's track. We go back to rail 3. Now, the issue was, I mean, they were given 2 meetings in 4 days. Now, last time we raced in the 4-metre position, that was the Wednesday when it was red-hot leaders. We've created lane racing.
I think
It was probably the best run of the race.
Fast Future was the best run of the race, but what is going on at this joint? What is going on at this joint?
Yeah.
Well, you just saw one come from the back
movements now.
Come off it. They're protecting. This could be a nightmare come Cox Plate Day. They've been protecting that inside 2 or 3 metres. 2 metres, and once you get to Cox Plate Day, they're going to see untouched ground there.
Correct.
It could turn into an absolute farce. They did it at the Gold Cup.
For the Bill Start Stakes, let's have a look at the TAB odds and we'll give you a comparison. All-American 440 out to... Then we go down to Who Begot You, $3 out to $3.30. So there's your odds on screen. Let's go.
She ran well, Mark. She was
and maybe looking for a derby and maybe a Cups horse later on, so you don't want to sort of rev him up and change his pattern too much. We'll just see how he goes.
Is that where he's heading? Mile and a half?
Well, we might have to sort of go that way. Seems to get back and finish it off. It's early, and we're certainly going to hope that most of the jockeys are expecting that it's on pace here and it'll dig up and take off a little early.
Yeah, I've got to be critical. We raced here on...
And New Approach, one of the first out. Who Begot You didn't jump all that swiftly, and the filly Fly Higher jumped fairly, and she's maintaining a position down on the rail, probably around midfield. There's a bit of speed about. All Americans pressing on from deep out. Wooker on its outside. Fury and Last Orders are up there, and New Approach holding on to the inside. They charge into the back now. Then behind those, Kimura out wide, and then came Carnero, had to check and ease there. Followed by Who Begot You a long way back on the inside from Minnesota Shark and Lucky Thunder at the tail of the field. They've scorched the first half. Up the side, Fury by a neck to Wooker, and 2 lengths away, All American, who's getting a good run into it, and 2 lengths to Last Orders. New Approach. A length further back, Fly High, St Culper, and then Noble Lust. A Minnesota Shark making ground out very wide. Followed then by Kimura. Huxon held up on the inside, passed by Carnero and Lucky Thunder. Who Begot You taking off right around the outside. Fury had the lead. Minnesota Shark got there early to tackle with Wooker and All American in the middle, and Who Begot You now puts in his run out very wide on the course. In fact, he's raced up and gone to the lead. Who Begot You from Minnesota Shark and All American, and then Wooker followed by Lucky Thunder, but Who Begot You raced away in the straight here, out by a couple All American and Minnesota Shark, and Who Begot You comes right away and scores easily. Who Begot You by 4 lengths. All American. Carnero got home for 3rd. He didn't have any luck. Close for 4th. Minnesota Shark there with Wooker and Lucky Thunders out wide, and they're followed closely the tail end of the field.
He wins the Stud Stakes. He may very well win the Caulfield Guineas, but I reckon he's going to be the horse to beat in the Derby because he relaxes beautifully in his races. And why wouldn't he relax?
And we saw him get to the outside for the first time this preparation, Terry, and what a difference here.
The horse was very, very impressive. Won by 4, and you would expect on the way towards a Derby. Well, yeah, he defied the pattern of racing today, and look, it was a big worry going into the race. It looked like a dynamite leaders track, and, you know, he might be one out of the box. He had them. Come on, Michael. And once he got out, it was just all over in about 4 strides. 1600.
It was a bit freakish, really. He doesn't help himself at early in the race. He's always half a length slow and takes a while to sort of warm into it. And I was in a real ordinary position at the half mile, and I just saw my only option was just to hook out, get out and around him, and yeah, I can't. You know, to win like that against the pattern, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you would expect the race as well. So, sort of difficult for some of these horses when they're presented with a pattern.
Turfy, they went 136.3. The track record is 135.8.
Yeah, so we're talking half a second for the 3-year-olds here. It's
at the right time. Who Begot You defying the pattern. All American good again. Carnero just has no luck in its races, but this is pretty special. Who Begot You?
I think the others all needed a head start. This bloke, very good horse. He loves the Valley. He's undefeated at the Valley, I think, isn't he? Who Begot You? I think a couple for 2 for 2. Awesome. He was back on the fence and just circled them like they were stuck to the floor.
Well, he should be unbeaten almost, you would think.
Oh.
The runs that he's failed, well, he hasn't failed. He's had no luck. He's the one that got to beat in the Guineas.
Should have beat Sugar Babe when had no luck, and then last.
The Guineas.
Should have beat Sugar Babe when had no luck, and then last time out just got held up and just nothing went its way.
The way the pattern was, that was an unbelievable win.
We looted the Guineas at Caulfield. One thing you've got to remember about this horse, I know he's favourite going into the Guineas now because that was a very resounding performance. Covered ground, look, they went 100 mile an hour like most did. for the entirety of the meeting on Friday night. But I tell you what, this horse has not got. He hasn't got tactical performances, because if they run it slow and he gets back, he's going to have a lot more trouble at Caulfield than you do at Moonee Valley. That aided the performance Friday night without question at all. I still thought all of the performance Friday night without question at all. I still thought All Americans' run was quite satisfactory. Was forced to come out, even when the stablemate put on a fair bit of speed for him. Craig had to come out and try and go forward with it. I think he's just as much of a chance around Caulfield over the 1600.
I'll have a bet with you, Alf, that he can't beat Huber Got You Home at their next clash. He's 4-length win at Moonee Valley, as you know, Alf. That's a huge margin at Moonee Valley.
What price are you going to give me?
What?
What price are you going to give me?
I was going to feed you. I know you're only small, you don't eat much, so...
No, Richard, tactics come into these races at Caulfield.
All right, let's...
Whips. Arrowfield Stud, Stan Fox Stakes, over 1,400 metres. A Group 2 race, a time-honoured race. Dreamscape, the favourite, just ahead of Love and Kisses.
Yeah, it's a cracking race, Caroline. It's a cracking race. Number 1's out, number 2, Dreamscape, $2 out to $2.20. Chilled, 13.
Now, Chilled and Judge Me Not about to come forward. They go. Love and Kisses flew out from gate number 1, but Whitefriars is going to come across from the outside alley. Cassidy dug him out of the stalls, and he went straight to the lead from Sweet Science and Love and Kisses. And then came Dreamscape, who's going forward. He's 3 wide at the moment, but he's going to work up outside the lead. As Bid Spotter. Whitefriars going a little bit keenly in the middle stages here, pulled his way clear by length and 3/4. Dreamscape second. Love and Kisses has had every possible chance back third on the inside, and he's just trying to come off the fence now to get on the back of Dreamscape, followed by Sweet Science. Then Chilled, Judge Me Not peeling to the outside, and Bid Spotter last of all. Whitefriars in front, but Dreamscape comes up on the outside, looks full of running. Love and Kisses is struggling. Judge Me Not's coming down the outside, but Dreamscape surged on to hit the front from Whitefriars inside the 200. The favourites are neck in front. Judge Me Not can't reach them back in third, and Rowella sits down to ride this out, and it's coming away, Dreamscape. Much too good in the run to the line to win the Stan Frocks from Whitefriars. Then Judge Me Not, Love and Kisses and Chill from Bid Spotter, and last in was Sweet Science.
So the Colt wins Dreamscape. 2 out of 3 now for Gay Waterhouse. Gorey and Nash Rawiller doing a good job, still having the horse.
Sick of it, that's for sure, and I hope it continues. But he's an exciting colt, and you know, I think he'll be a better horse in the autumn too.
I just love when you get...
This horse has emerged late, well, early in the 3-year-old season. Dreamscape, 220 into even money yesterday, beats Whitefriars and Judge Me Not, and now will be taking on the Caulfield Guineas Rich, and he certainly deserves his chance in that.
It's hard to believe, Mark. He's only had it. That was only his 3rd career start. Like, to win the up and coming when things didn't go his way at Warwick Farm, he got a little bit lost at his 2nd start behind Predatory Pricer. He was dominant yesterday.
Well, they ran 122.4. That's, you know, that's very good time. I know Love and Kisses yesterday.
This is at his last 2. He's only had 3 starts.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, Ronnie, that your contention that the 3-year-old colts in Sydney are superior to the Melbourne colts, and I'm not going. This horse could be right there with them, but he's not beating superstars behind him, so it's very hard to...
I think he is one. I think he's a good horse. He'll go to Melbourne probably and run in the Caulfield Guineas, and he'll run well. Just a matter of whether he's been set for a Caulfield Guineas, which I love horses that have been set for races.
You only find it in the good ones.
This second horse, Whitefriars, did a terrific job. He's just been rattled by bad barriers, by terrible barriers, and he's had to go full.
Great scenes as the runners in the Group 1, the George Main Stakes, parade around. The blinkers go back on. The Doncaster winner, he won the Premier, then Gallant Tess, of course, beat him in the Chelmsford. Can the mare do the same thing, or will Triple Honour bounce back today? We'll have a look at the betting at the moment. Triple Honour is $2.50, Gallant Tess at $4, Rich.
$10 solid. Number 2, Mentality, $11 to $12. Thesio, Juporth, $5.50 out to $6. Triple Honour.
$2.30, no value in that. Mentality's 12 into 9 on course, $7.40 on the tote. $2.30 Triple Honour, $5.50 Juporth, $5.60 Gallant Tess. That's Gates are back, they're racing, and Newport walked out of the gates, missed it by 2, and Ashikaga began nicely today, and Shin sent him straight to the front, led from Thesio and Gallant Test, followed by Mentality. The favourite settling behind them in 5th spot, Triple Honour, 2 lengths to Dupe last of all. So Shin brings Ashikaga past the 800, loping along in front by a length and a half on the stablemate Thesio. Gallant Test is next on the rail, and then came Mentality. Triple Honour's locked away on the inside for the moment, and Duporth is now starting to drive up on his outside to
keeping in pocket as they come up towards the home turn, but Triple Honour's trying to shift out underneath Dewport, who's not going well enough to hold him in there. Around the home turn, and Ashikaga straight enough for home, led from Thesio by a length and Mentality. Gallantess has got nowhere to go. 2 lengths to Triple Honour, and Dewport is winding up down the outside. Thesio just led from Mentality. Ashikaga's gone. Gallantess and Triple Honour are struggling. Mentality raced up on the outside to get the lead from Thesio. It's Mentality and Thesio stride for stride to the line, but Mentality, he loves the mile here, and he went on to beat Thesio. Gallantess was third from Nicanero, and then Dewport followed by Ashikaga. Triple Honour was flat today, didn't run on, followed by the Chieftain, and last in was Newport.
Oh, he's very good, isn't he? Another Group 1 mile here at Royal Randwick. Goes the way of Mentality for John Hawkes and Corey Brown. He's everybody involved in this horse, because he's just been such a good horse for so many years now as a 5-year-old, now having been such a good 2-year-old all the way through, and every campaign he seems to take out a pretty good race, and he's done it again here. The Group 1.
He loves the mile, all right. Only been beaten once at the Randwick Mile from 5 starts there. As far as I know, there's a pretty big mile race on next Saturday at Randwick. Will he be there? We'll find out shortly. But in Thesio, Gallant Test, okay, not good enough. The favourite, Triple Honour, poor, disappointing. Where do we go? We'll discuss that with Rich shortly. But let's discuss this horse, Rich. Mentality.
Well, Bruce, it's funny. He won the Champagne Stakes, the mile at Randwick. He won the Randwick Guineas at the mile. The only time he's been beaten in the mile was in a close photo behind Harada, son of the Doncaster. He sat 4 and 5 deep the entire trip. It was the run of the race by a country mile on probably a track that didn't suit him. No excuses. Don't even look for excuses. The best horse won, the best horse.
Back to the George...
That he didn't feel right.
Hanging in, and they put blinkers on him to stop him from hanging in, and I think he hung in again yesterday. He tried to anyway.
Hung in winning a Doncaster.
And, well, he's, you know, there's something annoying him. There's something bugging him. He's not letting go, and Chris Waller, I believe, this morning got the vets all over him trying to find what this issue is with the horse.
Okay.
Thesio issue is with the horse.
Okay.
Thesio was the best run. Thesio was the best run as far as next week's concerned.
Yeah.
Dewport in the range of satisfaction. Anthony Cummings was okay there. Goes to Melbourne now. Won't be seen until the Caulfield Guineas in a couple of weeks. Ashy
was in the Dan Zippo, $31. All Silent, second favourite, $4 to $4.40. Jardine, $7.50 to $8.50. Number 5, Judged, $5.50 unmoved. Spyzam, 100 to 1. Very good move for Kiloton in the last 13 seconds. $2.70 back into $2.50 now for Kiloton. Rockwood, $16 into $13. Bless Us, $31. Road to...
On the tote at $3.30, Judged at $4.60, that's spot on. And All Silent, a 9 to 2 chance on track is a point of unders on the tote. Racing now. They came out as one. Spyzone drifting back to last shortly after the jump. And Kiloton began well, showing plenty of speed in the early stages, going up around the outside to second is Jardine. Bless Us is racing forward today, and then came Rockwood, followed by Road to Rock. Spyzone's picked himself up to midfield. Dan Zippo going around the outside, and then came All Silent. Judge has gone for lasers last of all, but he's taken the favourite to the front here, Kiloton, with 800 to go. And it's on top by about a length. In second spot is Rockwood, followed by Jardine. Then came over on the inside there, sneaking up on the fences, Road to Rock, followed by Dan Zippo, who's out wide. In the centre, Bless Us. Back on the railers, All Silent, followed by Judged, who's 3 deep, but it does have cover. Further back behind them, Spy's Aim. For lasers, second last, and last of all, Vecchia Roma. So Bowman's about to bring the favourite for home, Kiloton, by a length. Rockwood on the outside from Jardine, and then came Road to Rock, a couple of lengths to Bless Us. Judged is now starting to come down the outside, but Kiloton led up the rise. Rockwood's coming after it with Jardine. Judged is trying to wear them down on the outside. Kiloton's just in front. No good thing. Rockwood's just about on terms. Judged is chiming in on the outside. It's Kiloton and Rockwood now. Judged is charging up. Judge raced up to hit the lead with 100 metres to go, and Judged will get the money. Went on to win it. Rockwood second. Spy's Aim, I think, got up for third. In front of Kiloton, All Silent, and Bless Us from Fillets, and Road to Rock, and then came Vecchia Roma, followed by Jardine and...
In form, you know what they say. This mare, of course, she won the research. She's now jumped into the Bill Ritchie against the boys, and she's been dominant again. There is killer on so many of these horses. Of course, she is a 5-year-old now. She's only had now the 17 starts for the 5 wins, as I said, but obviously maybe she's missed most of her 4-year-old year through EI. So that's a great result for everyone involved.
I love the way she attacked the line the last furlong there for Corey Brown. Of course, he won't be with her next week, but Joe Price done a terrific job with her. Kiloton, favourite favourite yesterday. Disappointing or not, Rich?
Yeah, it probably was a little bit disappointing. It was a big jump ball, though. I still think he's a better horse if he just sits behind the speed and he can travel. Tim Martin, I believe, is going to accept for the Epsom handicap. If he happens to scrape into the field, I believe the young apprentice from Rosehill, Matthew Palmer's on standby to ride Killaton. He'll have no weight in the race, still judged.
Yeah, I like her. Well, it's a classic case of being an informed mare, and it's a classic case of, like, she wants to be here now. She wants to be there. She didn't want to be there in a previous preparations because she had an attitude. She didn't want to do this. She didn't.
On the back.
Yeah, exactly.
He's done a very good job with the track. It's in great order. But the later races had bigger fields too, which always sort of lends itself to better pace in the race.
Yeah. A couple other good runs in that race. Rockwood was very good first up. Road to Rock was very good third up, first up in Sydney. I thought they were both good runs. As far as All Silence concerned, he got held up. He'll back up well into the Epsom, but not totally convinced. He's favourite after the Newcastle win. Rahib, he looks to be Johnny on the spot there. But
he's short though.
He's short enough. He'll be better than that on the day.
Is Muscat the improver on?
Yeah, look, it might be all just too soon for him second up into an Epsom, but he's well found in the market there. But
certainly going to find the winner's circle one day. Today was the day. We have, of course, a downgrade of the track to a slow 6, and that is
past fit to run. Race 3, the Big Pond Roman Consul Stakes. Number 1, Snow Alert. $2 on track, rock solid. Number
Snow Alert, they bet evens into 190, back to 195 as Montana Flyer firms from 750 into 650.
Racing now, favourite jumped OK, Snow Alert. It'll settle back about midfield. And Montana Flyer, the filly, came out running and it went straight to the lead. Snow Alert's now starting to improve, going up on the outside of Drumbeat. So the favourite's 3 wide early on here. He's going to press forward outside the lead by the looks of it. Silent but dead. Montana Flyer gets her own way in front. The pace is pretty steady. As they reach the 600, it led by a length and a quarter on the favourite, Snow Alert. Silent but Deadly is third on the rail. Drumbeat's being pushed along in fourth, and then Mazuka Mailbox, Coniston Bluebird second last, and Court still at the rear of the field, about to switch to the outside. Into the straight, and Montana Flyer led. Snow Alert's coming at it on the outside, and he looks to have plenty of horse underneath him, but he goes for Montana Flyer. It's got a kick as well. Then Silent but Deadly. Court's rushing down the outside as they draw to the 200, and Montana Flyer led. Snow Alert's very flat-footed, and here comes Court and Drumbeats, but Montana Flyer, she's revelling in the slow ground today, and Montana Flyer will go on and lead all the way. Won it from Drumbeats and Silent but Deadly from Court. Snow Alert didn't quicken up at all. And then we've got Coniston Bluebird, Mailbox, and Mazuka's run a shocker and finished last of all.
the filly Montana Flyer takes out the Roman Consul Stakes. You remember the first start.
They're heavy. You don't know you want to be too far back, and well, Gaze worked that out pretty quickly. Montana Flyer up on the pace, and that's a very valuable Group 2 win for the daughter of Flying Spur.
Absolutely, she's out of
Flemington. Now they're moving up into position here for the running of race number 4, Sportsman Craven Plate. And we've got $4.20 each of 2 in the ring. Dealer Principal and Reva San on the tote. Reva San at $3.10. Dealer Principal at $4.30.
They're off and racing, and Imvula jumped a bit awkwardly from gate number 1, lost about a neck or so. Lawn Dancer came out of the stalls quickly, and it's got the early lead. Sir Fusselot's rolling up into second spot. Imvula picking itself up to be on the inside in third. And still hard riding, and then came Ice Chariot, followed by Reva San, who's now gone up on the inside to second last, and Dealer Principal outside it last of all. So it's Aurora in front. Lawn Dancer going up on the outside. It wants a share of the lead at the 600, and there's nothing between them as they approach the turn. Imvula was next, and then came Sir Fusselot. 2 or 3 lengths to Lovely Leo, and then came Ice Chariot. Still Dealer Principal and Reva San are giving away big starts as they come around the home turn when Lawn Dancer, Shin's gone for home now, shot it away and led by a couple of lengths on Aurora. Sir Fusselot works to second, and then we've got Imvula. Ice Chariot is coming down the outside. Reva San is battling away, and then came Dealer Principal. Lawn Dancer's well clear. He goes for the stick now, 2 or 3 lengths in front. Reva San is coming after it. Ice Chariot is labouring. Lawn Dancer sitting down. Reva San is flashing on the outside. Lawn Dancer is in front and scrambles in. Lawn Dancer won it from Reva San. Photo third, Ice Chariot or Dealer Principal. And then we've got Sir Fusselot, Hurrah, Imvula, Love You Leo. and Preston's been beaten about 150 metres.
Lawn Dancer doing a good job there in the conditions to hang on, but what a flying finish by the Queensland Derby and Oaks winner Reva San, the little mare from the back of the field.
He's going in the right direction. Look at Reva San rattling home. From a Cup's point of view, if that's where Peter Moody's headed, he'd have to be pretty happy with that. Ice Chariot was third and Dealer Principle has run fifth. Let's go back to Richard.
If this little miss, Samantha Miss, wins the final leg of the series, the Princess Series, you could have a scarf off down at Moonee Valley.
The bloke there in the wheelchair there with his hat, you only see his head in the picture. That's Ronnie Crogan. A nicer man you wouldn't meet. He's been in Racing Stable and now the Chris Lee Stable, and they've got a wonderful mare here in Samantha Miss by Reduced Choice.
Absolutely.
Samantha Miss 140 to 150. Portillo $16. Stripper's been well back, $10 into $9. Maybe I, $21 into $16. Into it, 26 into 19, and the bottom.
Richard, yeah, you're right. Samantha Miss is the dominant favourite. $1.60 was given for a very brief period, but $1.55 is where she's settled. She might SP there, but there has been a lot of money, a lot of support for her. And race number 3 and number 4, but Stripper and Maybe I, they're the next best back. You know, it's a question mark. If she doesn't win this race, well, I don't think anything from behind can.
Racing in the Flight Stakes, and Stripper came out awkwardly. She lost the start by a half a length, but she's making ground now. She'll go up towards midfield. Glow Lamp was the best into stride. Maybe I came out very quickly on the inside as well, and it's gone up the rest to lead away from well back, and so too is Samantha Miss. So Bowman's going to ride a cold like he did in the Furious and the T-Rose. Just getting onto heels on that corner there and lost about a neck or so. The leader Maybe I trying to slow them up mid-race, led by 3/4 on Camilsey. Glow Lamp is third on the inside. Sarah's Choice a half a length away fourth, and then came into it, followed by Interact. They're not going all that hard. Samantha Miss is now starting to take off. Bowman's worried about the speed. He's starting to improve 3 wide. Then came Stripper, followed by Flying Tristan. Portillo latching onto the back of Samantha Miss inside the 600, and Maybe I's been beautifully rated in front. Now he quickens up on the leader, gets a length and a half on Camilsey. Then came Glow Lamp, Sarah's Choice. Samantha Miss midfield, 5 off the lead from Into It, and further back was Indirect, and then Stripper and Portillo. Maybe I let up the rise. Camilsey gives chase, and now Samantha Miss is being revved up on the outside. Stripper's coming from the back as so is Portillo. Samantha Miss rushed up and hit the lead with 100 metres to go. She shot away. Portillo comes after on the outside, but Samantha Miss, she's too big, she's too strong, and she's too good. Samantha Miss beat Portillo. Camilsey third, and then Sarah's Choice and Glow Lamp from Stripper. Then Maybe I Into It, Indirect, and last in was Flying Tris.
Ronnie Crogan, the winning owner. Ronnie, congratulations.
Thank you.
Must be
very exciting.
She was awesome today. She had to do everything. I thought at the top of the straight, I thought she might be in trouble. Yeah. She's very good.
She's very good, you know, but you know she's taken on her age and sex, and she's been pretty dominant. So and she's remained that. So
she goes on all surfaces, heavy drive. Already interviewed Ronnie Crogan. Geez, he's happy.
That's probably the biggest thrill I'm getting out of the enjoyment that Ron's getting out. He's been a great supporter and really deserves it.
I know you don't want to make the snap decisions, but it must be there. We spoke about it last time, in between those grey hairs in the mind that the Cox Plate's there.
Well, it's an option, you know. I just want to get through today. I don't want to take the gloss off what she's achieved today. You know, it's only been done once before, and she's a pretty special filly.
And she gets better every time.
It was, and she did it the hard way. She was a little bit agitated before the start, and I was aware of that, so I want to make sure she relaxed during the run. And when the pace slackened, she just didn't want a bar of it. So just got her. Well, I got on heels, ended up out 3 wide, and I thought I'd just let her cruise along at her speed. And she's a champion 3-year-old filly.
And the Dane said it's a privilege to ride her 2.5 lengths by 3/4.
Well, what a star she is as she completes the clean sweep of the Princess Series, the Reduced Choice filly. We know the story so well with her. She's now coming to Melbourne. She's going to have to be as good as what we think. Of course, John Massara saying she's better than Miss Finland. Well, Miss Finland could only run an unlucky 5th in the Cox Plate. No 3-year-old filly, Rich, since around in 1975, has won it. Is she going to turn the history books around?
She could easily do it. The bloke who's going to ride her, Bruce, has won a Cox Plate in Glen Boss. She's bigger. She just seems better every time we see her. Mark, slowly run races. I know she's only against her own age. She goes on all surfaces, but slowly run races. She's got a magnificent turn of foot.
Well, we've made this point before. She's won the last 3 where they've absolutely walked in front. She's had to do the bullocking herself. Look at that run today. Hugh Bowman's had to take off a long way from home, get posted wide, and she sprinted and got them in 50 metres. Her sectional times again were unbelievable. I know she's beating the same horses, but what she's doing in slowly run races, when she gets a bit of speed in a race, I think with 47.5 she's got to be dynamic.
Exactly right, 47.5, and she's bred to get like 1.5 miles.
Oh, well, as you said, she looks like a colt rather than a filly. She could be the next around.
You'd hate to come home.
Well, Steve, Slight Chance was the premier filly of her era back in '92, and then she ran the 1,000 guineas and ran 5th in the 1,000 guineas, and then ran 3rd in that knock 'em down superimpose Cox Plate. Does that give you any measure of hope for Samantha Miss?
Well, I think it does, Bruce. That was one of the great Cox Plate fields. This year, the way it's shaping, it may not be that standard. Obviously, the current reference is Miss Finland, who ran 6th and had a little luck. I think on the basis of that, Samantha Miss is well and truly in the mixes.
Keep coming here. The Spring Champion Stakes is next for mainly the Colts and Geldings. One filly in the race, but we're still
on in the day. Number 1 here, Predatory Prices, $3.20 to $3.50. The 2's out. Number 3, Sousa, $8 into $7.50. 9, $26 into $18. The 10's out. Roman Emperor, 14 into $13.
So number 5 from 30s in and into 20s, and number 9 also, as well as number 11, Roman Emperor. So top one's friendless at the moment. It'll be interesting. I've got it a lot shorter myself. It'll be interesting to see how it goes.
I'm still friends with Predatory Pricer. What about Starling?
Trouble near the centre, Stalingrad. Racing now. Predatory Pricer broke well, like father, like son, went well back, and Relentless Lad, the stablemate, walked out of the stalls as well. And Mangala's going back near the rear, and Fight and Defend rushed up on the outside to take the lead. Stalingrad goes up to 2nd, and then Predatory Pricer, who settles in a nice spot. Exultastic from that wide alley is starting to roll forward, and going with him is Sousa. Then we've got Miss Darcy further back in the field from Roman Emperor. Hit the stablemate Villiers from Like Father, Like Son. Relentless Lad is back 2nd last, and Mangala is last of all. At the 1,000 metres, and Sousa's gone up on the outside, and we've got a new leader now with Sousa taking on Fight and Defend, so they've really put the foot down on the pedal here in this race. It's Sousa on top, led from Fight and Defend, coming up on the outside to 2nd again, then Exultastic followed by Stalingrad. Miss Darcy going up 3 wide. Predatory Pricer back on the inside from back off, and then Like Father, Like Son. Relentless Lad is starting to make a move from the back, going around the outside of Villiers and Roman Emperor, and Mangala last of all. It's Sousa the leader at the 500. They're about to turn for home in the Spring Champion Stakes. It led by a half a length on Fight and Defend. Exultastic 3rd, but under the stick, and then Stalingrad. Predatory Price has still got nowhere to go at the moment. He's about 6 off the lead and in traffic, and Sousa shot away as they come up the rise. Beat off Fight and Defend. They're about 3 lengths on Predatory Pricer. Finally seen some daylight, but Sousa might have pinched a march here. 200 to go. Corey Brown sends him away for Darley, about 5 lengths in front of Fight and Defend. Then Predatory Pricer, and Sousa's making a mess of them. Sousa goes down to complete the Spring Stakes Champion Stakes double. 5 lengths on Predatory Pricer. Exultastic came again for 3rd. Then came Fight and Defend from back off, and Roman Emperor, followed by Miss Darcy, and then Stalingrad. There's a couple of weary horses at the back here, Like Father, Like Son, followed by Villiers, Mangala, and Relentless Lad was last in.
Peter Snowden's first Group 1 for Darley. Sousa by Galileo, this lovely colt related to an English Oaks winner. He has just revelled in this going, Sousa. Of course,
emotional day, great effort.
Super, mate. Words can't explain.
We spoke at Newcastle, and you said he's just going to take huge improvement. I heard you on the radio this morning saying the same. He rode him like a good thing.
Yeah, I knew how fit he was, and full credit to the staff at home, and I'm so thrilled.
At Newcastle last week, you've known Peter for a long time, Peter Snowden and Trevor Lobb, and something special about this bloke.
It was, and I take my hat off to Peter Snowden today. Great trainer, he's done so in front, he really digs deep and tries to hold them off, and he showed that today. The further we went, the further we got in front.
Yeah, back here in the yard
today. English interims on the screen, $7.80, $2.60. Predatory Price at $1.80, $2.70. Exultastic. We were just
Darcy, he is emerging as the son of Galileo. It was a great day yesterday for Darley and for the team. Peter and Paul Snowden. Galileo colt winning by a big space over Predatory Pricer, who was good in the ground. Exultastic. Okay, Rich, we'll see this bloke in Melbourne.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm not really sure whether Peter Snowden was thinking of going there before that dominant performance, that it was in the back of his mind. But, Mark, he's improved out of sight from the Newcastle Spring Stakes to the Spring Champion.
Well, he was lucky to win at Newcastle. Rhino Chaser should have beaten him there. Whether he was flattered by the wet track yesterday, it was a track that favoured on paces most of the day, which I think emphasises how well Samantha Miss went. I was surprised when Corey went to the front at the 1,000. I thought they were going too quickly, but he just kept going further and further away, which augurs well for the Derby. But I just don't know whether that wet track flattered him. What did you think?
Yeah, it may well flatter him. I think Predatory Price will go straight to the paddock now. Of course, Paul Murray's horse, he'll be come back in a lot better horse. Although he's a very good horse already, the half-brother to take over Target. I thought Corey might have heard, but Corey tells us why. Let's go to Peter Snow.
Out a lot of punters and just general race fans as well. We've seen some wonderful racing action and more to come. This is another of the Group 1s. 4 of them, as I said. This is the 3rd of them. The Tab Jackpots Metropolitan in 12 minutes, Rich.
Yeah, what a great race it's going to be. And we're $61 out to $71. Music Review, $26 untouched.
Red Lord, $4.10 tote favourite. $4.50 Fiumicino, Bianca at $4.70. And on track, it's $4.20 each of 2 Red Lord and Bianca.
Racing now in the Metrop, and Tangalooma missed the start, and so did Get Up Jude. They were back near the tail on settling down. Red Lord came out well, and here comes Music Review. It's coming across from a wide alley to be up in front, but they're kicking up underneath it, so it'll be trapped about 5 wide. Red Lord's right up there, but he's throwing his head around. He's resenting that, and it's Red Lord, one of the leaders, keeping the dream, and Music Review doing plenty of work in the early stages. Then came Bianca back on the inside from Gallopin and Book of Kells. A couple of lengths behind them next, we've got Lang on the outside of the Great Newport. He goes up to keep it in there. Then we've got Fiumicino. Boss is now starting to edge away from the inside and start a run. Going with it as they come down the side of the track. There was Tangalooma, followed by Cape Cover and Brave Lancer back last of all. It's Music Review moving up on the outside and pouring the pressure on now, and it goes up and Shades keeping the dream. Red Lord and Bianca are waiting to make their runs, and then came on the outside. Get Up Jude has made up good ground into about 5th spot. Lang's on the outside of it from Book of Kells as they come up towards the home turn, and Gallopin's there as well. Turning and Music Review. Bianca goes up along the inside and Red Lord on the outside, but Bianca sprinted away as they top the rise in the Metrop. Can Gay win another one? She's been a marvel at winning this race in the past. Newport is ducking up on the inside, then Red Lord, Gallopin and Lang. Bianca's well clear with 150 to go. Newport appears to be the only danger on the inside, and it's a big danger. Newport draws level, and the Brisbane Cup winner wins the Metrop. Newport beat Bianca. 3rd home, Get Up Jude, and then we've got Gallopin and Book of Kells, followed further back in the field by Lang. Then Cape Cover, followed by Red Lord and Brave Lancer. Further back behind them next, we've got Magic Instinct. Fiumicino never got in the hunt from Music Review. Keeping the dream, and last in was Tangalooma.
Oh, the weight drop work there for Newport, taking out the Group 1 Metropolitan, the winner of a Brisbane Cup. Just when Little Bianca looked as if she was going to pinch the race, Newport, we saw them both come through as they drifted off the rail as they came into the straight. Both these horses had absolute dream runs, and congratulations to Peter Wells, champion apprentice of last season. He's taken out the Group 1 Metrop.
Yeah, well done.
3rd, number 8, Get Up Jude, and well, a long neck by 3 1/4 lengths. We're going to look at the head-on as we go down to Melbourne, and Bruce.
Gallopin and Book of...
Oh, great ride and terrific track performance. Had much first up at Newcastle, but then came off running second last in the Cameron, last in the George Main. Did you go into the race with any level of confidence? Because I think the Berries did have some confidence about its chances.
Yeah, they certainly did, and I did actually have a little bit of confidence. Because Perry had confidence in the horse, and he's a fantastic trainer and knows his horses inside out. And also because this horse has great old form, you know, he had good form in Brisbane and could repeat anything like that. You know, he's always going to be in it. He's a tough old stay out, and that's what the Trip on a Wet Track's all about.
He's had 4.
Trip on a Wet Track's all about.
He's had 4 goes over the 1.5 miles. He's won 3 of them. He'll now go to Melbourne, and are you playing as well?
I'm not sure yet. You know, I'm always hopeful.
Big one, the Epsom handicap over the famous Royal Randwick Mile, and we are 13 minutes away from start time, Rich.
Number 1, Nicanero, 19-21, Caroline Mentality, 10 out to 12, Raining to Win, 14 to 15, Gallant Tess, $12 into 11, Malcolm, $81, Rahib, the favourite, $4.60 to $5, Bank Robber, $8.50 back into $8 now, Musket, big tip around track today, $7 untouched, Hard to Catch, 101, Thesio, $11 into 10, All Silent, 15 to 16, Judge, 10 out to 11, Ton has been $26 untouched, God's Hand, $31 Road to Rock, 61.
Rahib and Muscat, they're the two best stride. In fact, with me, it's the other way around. Muscat's my worst way and Rahib the next worst, but typical.
Reigning to win. Getting out to $15 again, but market mover is number 6, Rahib. $6 into $4.80. I think this is a quality Epsom. I think you're seeing a lot of these stallions, really good horses that will go on to bigger and better things here.
Just about set, racing in the Epsom now, and coming out of the stalls well was Judge, and Bank Robber flew out of the gates and has gone through to take up the running. It's Bank Robber the leader. Kiloton rushes up to second, and Theo from that wide gate has tried forward into third. Then we've got Gallant Test running fourth, followed by Rahib. Kick and chases over on the inside. Bundle Breeze starting to make up some ground, but off the track. Men after those, they settle down. We've got Muscat who jumped well, but he's got back into the field now. He's back past midfield. Malcolm's on the outside of him from Road to Rock. He's amongst the tail enders, and God's Hand is back with them as they travel down the side of the track. And Nicanero is second last. Kiloton in front at the halfway mark. 800 to go. Led from Bank Robber on the inside, and Thesio sitting up third, 3 wide. Rahib's on their back, followed by Kick and Chase, and Gallant Tess is 6-3 wide. Then Mentality and Spy's Aim, Bundoran Breeze hard to catch, all silent. Then came Judge, reigning to win back on the inside, and then came Muscat. He's giving the leaders 10 lengths start. He's now starting to push out, followed by Malcolm and Road to Rock. Turning for home, and Bank Robber headed up for the Judge in front. Slipped away from Kiloton. Thesio on the outside. Mare Gallant Tess is starting to run on. Rahib is struggling, but Bank Robber's in front down towards the 200. Gallant Tess and Thesio are coming after Bank Robber, who's starting to put in the short ones now. Thesio raced up to Bank Robber. Thesio takes the lead to Zach Purton, and Thesio is going to win the Epsom. Thesio first, Bank Robber. It's a Quinella, and then we've got back in third spot behind them Gallant Tess, followed by All Silent. Then we've got Judged and Muscat. And further back in the field, God's Hand from Hard to Catch, and Kick and Chase from Malcolm, Bundle and Breeze. Then we've got Nicanero, followed by Mentality, Rahib, Kiloton, reigning to win. Well back behind him, Road to Rock, and last in was Spy's Aim.
What a sensational result for Star Thoroughbreds. Denise Martin, Gay Waterhouse, Thesio and Bank Robber, both in the Star Thoroughbreds colours. Quinella in the Group 1 Epsom handicap here. Out of it. And All Silent, good run too by All Silent, getting up there into fifth, maybe even fourth spot, I think, and Judge there too. Good run by her, and she has finished fifth there. And Zach Purton giving him a little pat between the ears, and he's pretty happy with himself by the horse. And Zach, and there's Bank Robber in.
It's a great effort, but how did he travel in the race?
He tried really well. Just probably about the 1,000-metre mark coming around the first corner there. He's just on the steel a little bit, but I was asking Stephen to ride at the front. He wasn't coming to the party, so I got him to come back and relax. And then up in the corner, he dropped the bit. I had to ride him through a flat spot. Once he got through it, he lengthened and just straight to the line. He's never going to get past.
You've been sitting in Hong Kong watching Boston come back ride a couple. You said, I've got to get back there.
Yeah, I thought my turn's got to pop up sooner or later.
Then Gallant Tess, followed by All Silent.
Well, backing up off of George Main, second to Mentality comes out a week later with Zach back from Hong Kong to win a Group 1 career with number 5 from 22 starts, and a big triumph for Denise Martin's Syndicate. Race Thesio, so those who race Bank Robber into second, Gallant Tess. They stretched out in the straight here, Rich.
Certainly did, Bruce. Look, Bank Robber skipped away. The track was well and truly, it was a slow 7. A lot of the riders thought it was well and truly into the heavy range at this stage. Look, there's Rahib, who was well back late. Danny Nicklick, I think every horse he rode yesterday, none of them handled the wet conditions. There was a lot of meritorious performance in the race, but this bloke, Denise Martin, Thesio, he's just shy, about 4,000 shy of $1 million mark, and he's the most expensive horse you've ever bought.
No, not the most expensive I've ever bought. He was the first horse I bought in 100,000. And I think you've got a really smart horse in the making. He was stakes placed as a 2-year-old, and at 3 he won a Dulcify, and then went to Queensland, of course, and won the Premier's Cup. So we knew that we had a really handy middle distance horse on our hands.
You've got a rock.
Yeah, look, he ran out of his skin, you know, he gave 100%, and I thought we were aiming at 150, and then when I saw the other Star Thoroughbred come up outside, so I knew we were in trouble, but could have went better and couldn't have been happy with the run.
Great race, you know, there was all doubts about whether she'd back up, but I must say I thought she came out of the last week's race very well, and I made the decision to run her again. You know, she's probably running the race of her life.
Yeah, he certainly did. You know, I thought he was probably in charge to run third with the dream run. Just got held up for action, you know, into the straight, but he ran on really, really well.
She's a real possibility. She really wants to back line. I think she's better on top of it where she's got to turn the foot, but she rallied and really tried hard at
You know, she's up to winning the Group 1 race for sure.
He didn't really handle the going, Richard. Probably 2 pairs further back than I would have really liked to be, but
Okay, that's the beaten jockeys from yesterday's Epsom Handicap.
Super Saturday. This is City Lexus Short. This is the sprint race, of course. Typhoon Z there. Shocking draw. He's back from winning the Group 1, the Manikato in Melbourne.
Of course, we had 2 late scratchings. The favourite is Hot Danish, $5.50 into $5, $6.50 out to $7. Illuminates $21.
On track, $6.50 into $4. He's at $6 on the tote. Now they're being called over. Runners about to move in here with Hoystar. And coming out a bit slowly, Illuminates, and Typhoon Z began well, shaded by Keen Commander shortly after the start. Is rolling through into 3rd spot, and then we've got My Vegas and Royal Discretion. Hot Danish is not all that far away, settling back near midfield, about 5 or 6 off on the outside of Hoystars going up on the rail, and then came later and further back was Princess in that group. Also Illuminate getting a long way back, and Double is back near the tail of the field as well as they come up towards the home turn, and thrown in's back in 2 or 3 runners. The leader, Key Commander, steering out very wide. Typhoon Z is striding out after it to almost be on terms as they turn for home. Simplest is 3rd, about 3 lengths to Hot Danish, who's starting to warm up now. My Vegas trying to go with it, and Hoystar's coming up along the rail. It's Keen Commander just in front. Typhoon Z. Hot Danish is coming after them. She's closing quickly, and then Simplest and Hoystar. Here she comes, Hot Danish. Princess, the mare's after her. Hot Danish took the lead. Princess over the top. And Princess edged out Hot Danish. Keen Commander got 3rd, and we've got Simplest and Hoystar. Followed further back and behind him by Illumination Leader and Typhoon Z from Double Dare. Royal Discretion thrown in, and My Vegas has finished last of all.
Yeah, we've talked about happy owners. Maratus, the owner,
Straight up at $8. She got out, drifted a fraction in the market, but she was the one that was able to get to the line first in the Group 2. The City Lexus Short, the sprint for the day. English Interims on your screen. Here's Richie with the
It was a good result for Chris Lees there, Rich, with Fritz's Princess impressive there in the shorts.
She was very impressive. Look, Hot Danish, huge improvement in that run, Mark. Hoystar, then Nicolette reported that he held his breath a little bit, and they're back to the drawing board.
I think the punters have been backing Hoystar and holding their breath as well, Richie. I think Hot Danish is the one to follow. 1100's not really her go, but she was there to win. All honours, Princess. She came from the back, but she ran 3rd in the Galaxy last preparation. This is probably around her right distance, 11-12. They tried her at 1400. She's failed about 9 times that, so she does normally race well fresh. But I think from...
They're behind the barriers, Caroline, moving in for the feature in New Zealand.
And that horse closest to screen, that is the mighty Princess Cope, $1.90. She is on the New South Wales tote. Nom de Jeu, the top winner, $4.30, hoping to turn the tables. And Fritzy Boy, he's from the South Island, he's at $14. Princess Cope, she won the St George. She had those duels with Simeone through the autumn, and she's back in great order, of course, winning the Stony Bridge last time out. And she is favourite, price favourite, to take out the $2 million Kelt Capital Stake. Let's head to you.
Weight for Age Championship of New Zealand. It's the Kelt Age Championship of New Zealand. It's the Kelt.
Racing in the Celts. Off to a fairly level line as well. Getting back Pentathon from a wide gate, drops back. Princess Cope drops back as well. Prince Capstad got away quickly. Rios has landed right there. Gaze goes forward. Boundless coming across them. And the Puka's whipping up onto the speed, as to Sterling Prince and Katie Keane. A circuit to make, and the Puka's going to take it up. Boundless, she is 2nd. And then Prince Sure halfway in the Celt, 1,000 to go. 2.5 lengths back then to Fritzy Boy. Prize Lady his inside. Ombre Rose a little more than a length off those, and then Red Ruler on her inside. Princess Cope standing them 12 at the 800 metres from Gingadood. Spin around and Pentathon. It is the Puka trying to do it all of the way in the Celt. Gaze is 2nd on the outside. Boundless right behind these runners, and then Prince Capstad. Sterling Prince off the track throughout. Rios on the inside of Nom de Jeu came away from the fence. A little deeper out. Katie Keane sprinting now. Princess Cope's coming into the race as they turn. Then Fritzy Boy and Red Ruler as they turn in the Celt. Here the Puka in front. Boundless off the fence to challenge over on the outside. And then Gaze, Rios getting up and behind these. Prince Capstad. Now Nom de Jeu coming. Princess Cope's coming with it. And Red Ruler down the outside. They race to the 150. Princess Cope, Nom de Jeu, Boundless find it on the inside, and then Red Ruler. Princess Cope, back-to-back counts. Pay the lady, she's brilliant. Princess Cope the money. Red Ruler 2nd, 3rd of the Nom de Jour from Boundless. Then the next has been Prize Lady. The next Fritzy Boy followed across Sterling Prince, the Puka, Gingadoo, Spin Around, Ombre Rose, Prince Cupstard, Rios, Katie Keane, Pentathon, and Gaze one of the last. She has been too good. And
that proves beyond doubt the best horse in New Zealand. 2 Celt Capitals in a row. The $2 million race. Princess Cope beating the Derby Quinella from here, the Red Ruler, and Nom de Jour. She is something special. And
well, she's going better than last year, Steve. The other 3 behind her, they'll make their presence felt in the sprint.
Yeah, definitely. Boundless was good working on the speed. The other 3 have closed into the race, but what we've seen at Princess Cope of her last 2 runs there in New Zealand, I think it's fair comment she is going better.
Richie and Mark, Opie Blossom will come and ride Princess Cope. You know her pretty well. We know Nom de Jour. I think Jeff Lloyd will get back on him in the Melbourne Spring.
Yeah, look, we know how good she is, Princess Cope. She was terribly unlucky. I think it was the Australian Cup behind Sirmione. She certainly wasn't advantaged up in Sydney around Canterbury where we had the Rand, but she's pretty good, Mark. And with
ones on the card, big crowd building up here as we get towards race 3. This is the old Concept Sports Stakes. Now it is another name, and it is called the Beyond Sportswear. Good lineup of 3-year-olds here. We don't want the results of the past couple of years. 66-1 and 10-1 chances for Rick or Lacey, Dandy Dollar and Snort. Favourite here is Tyndall on course. The tote there 310, on course 360. Plenty around. There's your last look at the totes here for the 3rd here as we get harder.
They're set and they're off and racing. Rockdale missed the start slightly and he settles at the back of the field, and Butane Dane was first to bounce out from Dapana, Bombard, and Tyndall, who didn't jump brilliantly, is dug up and he drives forward at the 1200 metres trying to find the lead. He's doing a bit of work, but he's going to get over in front of Bombard, viewed the field, and Tyndall, the leader, had to do a little bit of work, but he steadies the ship at the 800, led by a length. Bombard, a length and a half to Butane Dane on the inside, and Dapana enjoys a lovely trail for McAvoy in 4th. 1.5 Heart of Dreams, 3 pairs back on the rails, followed by Related, and then Rockdale well away from the speed as notified, and Outdo was last. Coming around the home turn, and Tyndall led from Bombard, waiting on a run Butane Dane, then Dapana, Heart of Dreams edging into it, but he's going to need a run shortly, and Related pulls to the outside and he's starting to work home. Tyndall got away 2 lengths to Butane Dane, Related is running on, and further back was Bombard and then Heart of Dreams, but Tyndall the leader at the 200 metres, 2 lengths to Butane Dane, Related, and then Heart of Dreams. Tyndall in front at the 100 metre mark, about 3 lengths. Heart of Dreams running on strongly, but Tyndall has a good lead, and Tyndall goes virtually all the way to beat Heart of Dreams by a length and a quarter. Butane Dane 3 lengths away 3rd, then Rockdale, Related, Dapana. Second last was Bombard, and Outdo, who ended up running right to the outside rail in the straight, has finished tailed off last.
Sound on pace win here by TAB number 8, Tyndall, clearly runner-up. Unlucky Heart of Dreams, vitally held up at momentum, was against him around the 300 metre mark as Tyndall extended, gapped the rest.
Not too sure about the others. Related ran into the race, had his chance.
Didn't finish it off. Butane Dane.
Rooms $3.60 for the winner and $1.40, $1.50.
Just a bit of a Captain Cook at him. We've got the Blazer Stakes coming up here. Terrific lineup of mares Group 2 contest. Here's the market. Favourite on course is 4 Absolute Glam over 3 Mimula Brock. No surprise there. Not much betting depth here, even though it's a big field. Forensics is next pick. Everything. The champion Sydney mare who had a great season, Samantha Miss, ready to take on the Hustler, and Princess Cope brilliant today in New Zealand. Big field almost set here for the Blazer Stakes.
Racing. Gavin slow from the outside. Whitehaven Girl first out from Mimi LeBrock. Viking Turf Bell was away okay. Murzadora, Bellini Rose press on as they settle into stride. Dorabella Translator just off the leading bunch. Now let's see, Absolute Glam settles down about 8th on the outside. Whitehaven Girl led narrowly from Murzadora as they settle fully. Murzadora now going on. Test Maritza and Zilzi. Forensics a good way back on the inside from Sol Diva, Arapaho Miss and Gabadon. That's the order with Murzadora in front at the 600 metres, led by a length Whitehaven Girl. 2 lengths Bellini Rose, Mimi LeBrock, Dorabella out wider. Absolute Glamour starting to creep around Translate and Viking Turf Bell. Then came Prima Nova as they swing for home from Grand Journey, and then Zilzi. Forensic still a long way back, search searching for a way clear. It's Musadora in front, 400 to go. Bellini Rose coming after her from Whitehaven Girl. Here comes Absolute Glam. She's winding into her work now. It's Bellini Rose at the 250, getting to Musadora. Absolute Glam coming on the outside of them. Viking Turf Bell going for a split. Bellini Rose in front of Absolute Glam. Viking Turf Bell. Bellini Rose still in front. Viking Turf Bell trying hard. Bellini Rose, you deserve it. Won it by a long neck. Bellini Rose beats Absolute Glam and Viking Turf Bell. Just behind them, Princess Maritza. Forensics home late, and then Musadora, Whitehaven Girl. Zilzi made some ground, followed Grand Journey, stayed on Prima Nova, Mimi LeBrock Weekend. Just behind them then to finish was Dorabella, who had a wide run. Gabardon, Translate, Soul Diva, Arapaho missed towards the tail of the field.
Well, as Greg Miles said, you deserve it, Bellini Rose. Second in the race last year. She's been second and third. So many big races since she won a race which seems an eternity ago. No excuse. Bellini Rose too good. Absolute pelt. What a run hit. Weaving through. Mimi LeBrock in traffic all the way up the straight. No luck for it, but
really aimed to win this race, and it's great for the connections that she did.
Given a gun ride too by Chris.
Yeah, she definitely
did deserve it. Will she go to see Flying Spur, or will she go and see the Maya Stakes? That's the problem now for Matty Allen to sort out. Absolute Glam ticking over well. Viking Turf Bell, not much luck, was very good. Mimi LeBrock had no luck at all.
Might be one of the highlights of the spring, the Maya on Derby Day, the feature mares race with the likes of Hot Danish coming to Melbourne, and the mares we've seen here. Absolute Glam, I think, giving the winner 3.5 kilos was probably the critical factor. Lots of good runs in the race, including Forensics.
Oh, outstanding Forensics. It's our quaddie starts here with the Group 2 Edward Manifold Stakes. It's a jackpot quaddie of $110,000, and here is the tough first leg. Well, maybe it's not. The Edward Manifold for the girls, 3-year-old fillies at Group 2 level. On course on that first page, not a horse under $10. And Gallica, you can see tight the toe, it's $10 here on course. Down the number 9.
Here on track, Romnea, as we mentioned, back into 3 after they bet $3.10. Sparks Fly, a touch easy.
This is the first leg of today's jackpot quaddie, the Edward Manifold Stakes. The favourite is Romnea. Greg Miles to call the action. Let's go to him.
And away they go. And Romnea jumped away just a little slow. She's back at the end with Berger last to show, and Janira Grand first out. Avionics running to the front ahead of her now. Chazu on the improve quickly moved up into a prominent role, and Apennine settling down fourth, followed Gallica a little wide. Next a length and a half to Cat's Whisker, Viva Dubai. Sparks Fly a fair way back midfield on the inside. LaFair and Berger was 2 lengths away. 15 lengths first to last inside the 1,000 metres, and Chazu now in control. 2 lengths to Avionics, a length and a half to Gallica. Janira Grand fourth the inside. 1.5 Apennine in fifth, being followed Cat's Whisker and Subprime deep out. One Viva Dubai. Then came moving out Sparks Fly a long way back on the inside. They're being followed then by it's Romnea, who's made a move up to about midfield, and moving out is tracking her with Over the Fair out wider, and then Tremolo and Berger coming around the home turn, and Chazu led from Avionics. Gallica's going up 3 wide. In behind them Janira Grand as they've balanced for home, and they're clear then from Cat's Whisker. Right to the outside comes Romnea now as they come to the 300 metres, and Gallica raced up and went to the lead from Chazu. Avionics, Cat's Whisker running on, and wider out then is Romnea. McAvoy had to pull the whip. Not responding at the moment, and Gallica passes the 200, a length and a half in front of Cat's Whisker. Romnea struggling. It's Gallica in front for Oliver. Cat's Whisker trying hard, but Gallica's pulling out, and Gallica got the money by a length to Cat's Whisker, a length and a half. Sparks Fly got up for third, Romnea fourth, and back behind those Oval Affair, Tremolo, Viva Dubai and Chazu. Further back was at the head of the others then Avionics, and she was followed in by moving out. Berger didn't come into it. Apennine as well back in company there with Janira Grand, and Subprime would be about last in.
Well, she comes off a maiden and a showcase rating 68 race to become a Group 2 winner. She's got the pedigree, given a gun ride here by Oliver, who breaks through on Turnbull Stakes Day. And she had the upside, and she...
The one spec at the big odds has run 6th, run a mighty race. 7, 5, 12, 11 are the numbers on the Edward Manifold Stakes. 7, 5, 12, 11. The winner on track was $10 into $8.50, and Fly getting into third. Romnea, well, she toughs it out pretty well to run fourth there, and on a day, I guess horses aren't making significant ground out wide. Gallica...
I'd rather do a Group 2, but she's done it.
Yeah, I think because the pedigree's there, and under pressure these things shine. Take it
up for third, Romnea fourth. And back behind.
He won Bairnsdale Maiden, only 2 runs to go, but Mick Price very upbeat about this horse with a great pedigree, heading towards the 1,000 guineas with no Samantha Miss, and then on to the Oaks. She's emerged at the right time, hasn't she?
She has, home in 34.7 at the end of it. Genuinely solid 1,600 metres yesterday in the Edward Manifold. The Manifold form invariably holds up. I think don't overanalyse it. The runs of the first 3 obviously good. Perhaps you can forgive 4th and 5th.
Ups. Here is the market for our next race. Let's have a look at that. And this is the Gilgai up the straight. And what a wide market we've got here. I think it's $8.30 the field. That is Grand Jewel's favourite. El Cambio $9 on course. It's $8.50. Publishing's been well tried. 11 into $9.50 on course. Grand Jewel's around 8.5 on course. Murta Jewel's going to run the favourite here. 5 out to 6. Much better off.
Easy. Publishing, the money for it is flattening out. It's back out to $9.50. But typical of these freight races, you could pick half a dozen here and miss the win.
Disappointing for out of the spring. We saw Zach Purton win a Group 1 in Sydney on Thesio today. He's made the trip as well, but
Sunburnt Land on the inside. Oh, he's gone berserk in the gates, and he's trying to burrow through from barrier number 1. He's dropped his head, and he's got his head through the front of the barrier stalls down in gate 1. And he's become jammed there. They'll have to try and release that barrier so that they can get him out. Danger, of course, is that he's ruined any chance he has of starting in the race, surely. Barrier been closed, the saddle's been removed from Sunburnt Land. And they're set and they're racing, and Publishing got away fast over near the outside with Cargo Colt and Murder Jill. Mono Rules began fast, and he's up there with Stickpin as well. Grandule's carving right over to the leading horses, and Harry Choice come across too. Stavka's just in behind them, followed by Mr. Barry. Settling a fair way back in the field was El Cambio, and he was being followed by Tantat Delago. Vormista's well back in the field, the Jackal towards the end, and Swick is well back there as well. Coming along to the 600, Grandule's had the lead to Mono Rules. Hurried Choice out wider on the track, and they're closely followed. Murder Jill Publishing on the outside rail. He's not far away, trailed by Stavka under a bit of pressure, and then came Stickpin to Baritone. El Cambio in traffic with Tantat Delago, and then Helideck, and further back is Vormister. Swick starting to thread his way through. The Jack towards the end, and Cargo Colt climbing over hills. 250 to go. Grandule's in front. Murder Jill starting to close on him now. Publishing, and El Cambio's getting into the clear. Swick and Cargo Colt are next. Murder Jill get to the lead. El Cambio closing. Swick looking for somewhere to go. It's El Cambio with Murder Jill getting to the lead. But McAvoy's got Cambio home. El Cambio from Swick, who dives through to make it very close. And just behind them, I think Murder Jill might have got third. It's a very, very close go. Tantat Delago is right up there as well. And also Stickpin Publishing not far away from them. From Mono Rules, Grandules, and then Hurried Choice. Further back in the field to finish was at the head of the others. Cargo Colt. I think he'll have a hard luck story to tell from Mr. Baritone and the Jackal, Helideck and Stavka and Vormister on the last over.
A few who put their hands up here to say I was unlucky, but El Cambio gives Karen McAvoy a win, and a horse with an excellent first record improves on that. El Cambio home. Swick second, unlucky. The more you look at it, you'll find a heap of unlucky runners, including Cargo Colt here. But El Cambio, well, what a record he's got. 12 starts, 6 wins.
And the fresh record's pretty spectacular too, isn't it, Bruce?
Yep, 4 campaigns for 2 wins and 2 seconds, and he wins impressively.
5, 2, 11 and 8 Grand Jewels. Weakening to run 4th, but she did all the work pushing it.
And you have 2. Representing the team here behind this horse in the Dali colours of Sheikh Mohammed. Karen McAvoy back here on El Cambio, and second Murder Jill third. Steve
improves on an already impeccable first up record. Stavka pulled up lane. Swick, no luck in running. That's him. What else happened here? Well, we know what happened to Sunburnt Land at the start of the race. A frustration again for Matty Ellerton.
One of the key stories, of course, continually been unlucky in terms of getting a run yesterday. Burrowed under the gates shortly before the start of the race. It was a late crashing Sunburnt Land. Very disappointing there for Ellerton. I think the bottom line of this race, despite the hard luck story, is the winner. I know he's got a pretty record fresh, but I think he'll carry it on through this sprint.
Blazer Stakes, Bellini Rose.
Group 1 winners, but that is just great to see. Of course, the feature of the day down in Melbourne, Weekend Hustler against the rest of them over the 2000, the Patnack Farm Turnbull Stakes. Let's go down to you, Bruce.
Thanks, Caroline. Yeah, just about jockeys ready to mount up here, so let's get a chance to have a look at the Mighty Hustler, Weekend Hustler. He's $1.90 here on course at the moment. Here's a quick look at the totes, and then we'll have a look at them in the yard. Great expectation here. Big crowd, massive crowd building around the mounting yard to have a look at the champ. There's your totes on screen. We've seen them a lot today, but there's not much change to what's been happening since Wednesday, but we might get black figures about Weekend Hustler. We'll be going out to Alan the Scander shortly. No bets, no betting away from him. So let's go to the yard and have a look at these. Let's have a look at them.
He'll be working home. He can't win. He can't beat them.
Well, here he is, the best horse in the country. Southern Hemisphere, Weekend Hustler. Steve, very hard to make a case against him.
Certainly, Bruce. Look, he looks magnificent. He's beautiful and relaxed in the yard here today. We heard Ross earlier on TVN say he travelled well to the course. And I think the way the racing's unfolding here today, I'm surprised that bookmakers are being, you know, this generous at $1.90. It's been fundamentally on pace. That's going to suit him.
$7.50. The one everyone wants to know about, Weekend Hustler, is $1.80 out to $1.90. We had a client ring up, want to have $500,000 on it. He's waiting for it to get to evens. We're not really sure if it will or not.
Are you going to bet him?
Well, if it gets to evens, yeah, it's $1.95 now, so it looks like it's trending that way. So if it gets there, I'm tipping he'll be ringing back.
He wants $500,000 on it.
Well, mate, we've laid plenty of them, Bruce. We've actually laid plenty of them. We've had a client have 10,000 top fluck number 8, Guillotine, which is now a
Hustler.
Absolutely, mate.
All right, and there's a punter in the Northern Suburbs tab who walked in with 10,000 cash and put it on the Hustler in a Northern Suburbs CAB. Let's find out if anyone's going to put a house on the back into $1.90, $2 back to $1.90, and they budgeted here for 25,000 to turn up. Well, I've got that easily.
I would think so, and you know, what are they going to do on Caulfield Cup Day?
Well, they cut them off at 50.
They go at the 2,000 metres. Weekend Hustler jumped away evenly with the field. He presses on early, where Extend had the lead from Maldivian. Zarita's going forward. Alexander of Hales is on the speed. Tuesday Joy just easing back 5th. Pompey Ruler getting up on the inside with Guillotine. And he's gone back midfield here on Weekend Hustler, and he'll slot in anywhere he'd like to. Brad, he can come just one away from the rail there. Couple of lengths Lotturio, and they're followed by Zagreb and then Efficient and Zipping. And Master O'Reilly brought up the rear. Extend the leader out to the 1,400 metres. He's in front of Guillotine, who's pulling his head off over on the inside. He won't settle down, and Alexander of Hales on his outside. A length and a half to Maldivian up in 4th placing, 1 to Pompey Ruler. Zarita next on the outside, a length and a half to Weekend Hustler. He is out 3 wide as they go to the 1,200 metres. Zagreb getting up on the O'Reilly at the 1,000 metres. Extend by a length Alexander of Hales. Guillotine on the fence in 3rd. Maldivian a neck away 4th. 1.5 Pompey Ruler. Zarita and Weekend Hustler improving his place on their outside, and at the 800 metres he's coming up into about 4th or 5th placing. Lotturio's tracking him everywhere. A couple of lengths away, Zagreb being followed. Tuesday Joy zipping at the end of the field with Master O'Reilly, and Deficient is last. Coming around the home turn now, Extend is flat out just in front of Alexander of Hales and Maldivian. Then Weekend Hustler coming on 4 wide. Guillotine in behind them with Pompey Ruler in the straight, and Maldivian dash to the lead. Running on is Pompey Ruler. He's hit the go button on Weekend Hustler. He's not responding at the moment. In fact, Lotturio's gone past him. Pompey Ruler out after Maldivian. Here comes Lotturio, and down the outside Master O'Reilly. Lotturio getting to Pompey Ruler. Master O'Reilly and Zipping running on, but Lotturio takes the lead and draws away. Lotturio by a length and a half. Master O'Reilly. Zipping might have got 3rd from Pompey Ruler. Photo finishes. Guillotine next, and Efficient ran on. They were followed then by Maldivian and Weekend Hustler. He just didn't go to the line today. Next to finish in the race, Alexander of Hales, and then Tuesday Joy with a break behind them. Extend back there in company with Zarita. She's finished well back too, and back there also was Zagreb.
Well, does the spring picture change markedly here? Lotturio becomes a Group 1 winner. Only won a sale maiden until today, but his campaign has been right on track for Nigel Blackiston and the ever-faithful Stephen King, who tracked Weekend Hustler into the race. Brad 3-4 wide throughout as Tuesday Joy wouldn't go to the fence, but Lotturio...
Can you see me down there? Can you find me down there? He's there.
I've got Danny O'Brien, of course, trained Master O'Reilly. Nigel Black is just going to have to lead his horse in. Danny, perfect timing for another Caulfield Cup.
Yeah, obviously that's the secret to these big races, to get them right at the right time, and we've taken a pretty conservative approach with him. Know that he's really only suited to a Caulfield Cup and hopefully the Melbourne Cup again.
Well, and savouring up the moment of this
Group 1. Nigel Blackerson, congratulations, fantastic victory for all. And
mate, just unbelievable, hard to explain.
Of course, you made the choice this week to put the blinkers on, but he's been in great form anyway.
He's been racing super and just hasn't had the luck. I mean, he possibly should have won a few more races by now, but been well pressed that he's only one start winner, but he certainly put the writing on the wall today.
Gives you a great buzz going towards the Caulfield Cup.
Most definitely. And that is always our plan, the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup, and well, this is all about.
Even better that you're going to win this race, and you found another good one here, Steve.
Yeah, I have. Wrapped to be on the horse. Nigel and myself have been doing a lot of work with him, with the blinkers and getting him to relax. Certainly looks like the ideal cup horse. Gets him with no weight. His form's coming right at the right time too.
You tracked on the...
And soft in the end it was for Latorio. Blinkers on yesterday, only its second career win, but off the back of that Turnbull impressive performance becomes favourite for the Caulfield Cup. And the Melbourne Cup will get to the beaten brigade shortly, including weekend hustler and Ross McDonald. But Steve, Latorio's promised to do this, finally delivered.
Well, he certainly did. Blinkers has turned him on to some degree. You might argue that he had 53 kilos under the special weights and conditions, set weights and penalties conditions of the Turnbull, but he's attractively weighted in the cuts also. I think the form will hold up. It was an intriguing race given that the winner and the place getter's got a lovely track into the race behind Weekend Hustler. The speed was genuine. A couple of horses were probably found out to some degree. Pompey Ruler's one I'd be a little bit forgiving of in terms of a Caulfield Cup. I think if he draws well in the Caulfield Cup, his run again was satisfactory. He did a bit of the work chasing the speed. 52.5 kilos in both the cups for Latorio. Rich, your impression of Latorio? We'll get to the hustler and the beaten brigade shortly.
Well, as a 3-year-old, Bruce, we always thought he was going to do it, and he just seemed to be running on and chasing the pack. It was great to see him put a win on the board yesterday, and look, whether the Caulfield Cup's going to be his go, I reckon the Melbourne Cup's his go. He'll run 6 mile. Mark, the further they go, Latorio's going to get better.
Well, he looks to be a better horse this time in, doesn't he? As you said, he looked to be a non-winner. I know the weights suited him yesterday, but it's good to see that he's actually stuck his head out and beat them home. That was the big thing, and as you say, I think Flemington's really his track.
Up with Ross pretty much straight after yesterday's defeat of the champ.
Well, everyone is probably a little bit disappointed, but the way the race was run, he had no hope. Start pacing 3 and 4 wide. Tuesday, Joy kept him out there, and then he had to go forward probably earlier than we wanted to do. And you know, what the work he done early in the race told on him at the finish. But he seems to have pulled up well, and you know, we've still got him on and going forward, so we'll keep heading towards the Caulfield Cup.
So no lack of confidence or no loss of confidence in the horse's ability off today?
No, you know, you've got to get a nice barrier, and he's come out of 13 twice and he's been beaten twice, so we won't run him out of 13 again.
It's meant to be a super horse, though. They're meant to overcome these difficulties, Ross.
They all get beaten. Bain got beaten. They all get beaten.
All right, so Caulfield Cup...
We'll go from there.
Brad came back and he very clearly stated that he was the hunted out there today. He wasn't happy with Darren Beedman.
There's a couple of them there he wasn't too happy with, but that's racing, you know, and they're out to beat you, and you've got to get around it.
Okay, your horses...
Is he a sprinter miler who doesn't stay?
Well, it's difficult to say at this stage, isn't it? I suppose now, if he was my horse, I'd be freshening and running in the Cox Plate. The salient lesson there might be, we touched on it yesterday, last year's Cox Plate winner, El Segundo, ostensibly disappointing, running 6th in this race. The Melbourne Cup winner ran 11th. The Caulfield Cup runner-up didn't run a place. I think maybe Cox Plate.
He, of course, in for 0 Field Cup, so there's precedent even in the McDonald camp. Tuesday, Joy Bled, we know that she is out for the rest of the spring, but let's go to the beaten jockeys and hear some, well, perhaps perplexing tales from yesterday's Turnbull Stakes.
Oh, Tickle Pink with his performance today. All I was wanting today from him was for him to run on and come through it okay, and for him to run second and be hitting the line the way he did was very, very encouraging, and just knowing where he's at in his preparation, he's going to take a hell of a lot of benefit out of that run today, and everything's pointing very nicely towards the Caulfield and Melbourne Cup.
He has his run a super race. That's him. That's how he races. That's how he's best.
Finished off as you would have hoped?
Yeah, gave me a really good feel today. I actually thought I was the chance of winning at the 100, but he just peaked at his run.
Yeah, he went nice, Bruce. He had a nice run throughout the race, travelled up, looked to win at the furlong, but just probably ran out of steam the last bit, so I think he'll be cherry ripe for the Caulfield Cup.
He ran super, Bruce. He jumped nicely. It's a good question. Mark's going to go over him and get the vets to go over him tomorrow at the stables, and
just see where to go from there. You know, he hit a brick wall at the furlong, which is a bit worrying, so not sure.
Yeah, that's right. He sort of, I just sat up a little bit, probably 1,200 metres out, and probably didn't suit him that much, you know. And when they sprinted, just left us a little bit. But he was pretty good late. I was pretty happy with him late.
Yeah, they didn't miss us, but we were good out of the gates. Greg Childs had sold his horse, given it a decent roar out of the gates, and I didn't feel we could cross it without going 10 to the furlong, basically. So, and when Tuesday Joy, there was a line of them sort of booting up, I thought, well, good chance just to be behind them. As soon as I made that decision, Tuesday Joy pulled out of it quickly, as well as the Rita didn't continue to go forward. We got it back across into not a bad sort of position. The part that hurt us the most, when they slowed up, Tuesday Joy pushed us out and virtually out to 4 deep there at one stage. And over 2,000, when you're trying to get a momentum, it can hurt your chances, especially when they're going slow anyway. And we're back then out of our ground. And things from there just really got worse. So it was just a tough run for us.
And Greg Childs also disappointed with the performance of Zarita. He was more disappointed. Change from yesterday's Turnbull stake, New Zealand for the Caulfield Cup, and it did change big time. Latorio now favourite. $5 Hustler went from 2.80 out to 6 off that. Zipping, Big Firma into 8. Master O'Reilly from 21 into 9. Pompey Ruler easy at $11 now. Here, Nom de Jeu and Red Ruler. We'll see them later. Rufus Amran now, and of course with Weekend Hustler going under, it was as tight as 225 with some markets. He's now 440 the Hustler. Princess Cope, a Big Firma after that Celt win we keep talking about. We'll show it shortly. Samantha Miss, the other big mover there, into 550 for the Cox. The Melbourne Cup market, and Latorio ditto here over from Septimus. We'll have a look at the market here. Septimus confirmed to come now, not running in the Arc this weekend. There's the market. Latorio over efficient. I think he's going beautifully efficient, even with the 58. Septimus remains top of the betting here. Now, the big changes here. Master O'Reilly, Mad Rush is into $21 here. Nom de and was that Latorio's fave, Steve?
No, I wouldn't think so, Bruce. Efficient, talking about things being on target and going to plan. They certainly are with him. And I think unusually in this day and age, I think we do have to beware of the New Zealand form this spring.
Well, it held up to come there. No surprise that Latorio's fave, Steve?
No, I wouldn't think so, Bruce. Efficient, talking about things being on target and going to plan. They certainly are with him. And I think unusually in this day and age, I think we do have to beware of the New Zealand form this spring.
Well, it held up